of Humanity Born. I am Eric, at Marlon Recluse on Twitter, your game master for this awesome adventure. We are Vorpal Tales, and we play a wide assortment of games 7 days a week that fall into two categories: awesome adventures and terrifying tales. Awesome adventures air typically on Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Terrifying tales on Thursdays, Saturdays, and Sundays. So be sure to check our calendar on our website, vorpaltales.com, to stay up to date with all of our shows. Vorpal Tales is sponsored in part by Wales Whiskey, Large Marge's Donut Barn, and Felonious Phil's House of Cheesesteaks. Where's the beef? Probably between your teeth. Their secret is the bread. Don't forget to pick up your copy of Cyberpunk Red, available now in PDF exclusively on DriveThruRPG and in physical copy at talsorianstore.com and your local gaming store. While you're on DriveThruRPG, check out some of our very own Vorpal Tales supplements for sale, which include characters, monsters, and scenarios made for some of the games we play weekly. Remember to also follow our Talsorian games on Twitter and Vorpal Tales on Twitch. Visit our website to find the link to join our Discord. We're on most major social media outlets, including YouTube, where you can catch up on previous episodes. So remember to follow, subscribe, and hit the bell to get all the updates. We want to thank our Talsorian for providing support for this game, and Tyler's brother at Nate Mid for the super awesome character sheets he makes for all of our games. And a special shout out goes out to Karl Casey at Whitepad Audio for the awesome beats you're hearing right now. Check out the playlist on YouTube. Also, we want to thank Astral Virtual Tabletop for providing a great platform, perfect for hosting most of our games and providing excellent music for us to play. And as always, we want to give a big thanks to our patrons for helping us to grow into the future. Be sure to check out our Patreon page at patreon.com/VorpalTales to find out how you too can be awesome and support what we do. And last but certainly not least, thank you, our viewers and fans, for tuning in. All right, joiners, please tell the good people who you are, where they can find you online, and who you will be playing this evening. Let's begin with Michelle.
Hi, I'm Michelle Sealight. You can find me on Twitter at Michelle Sealight, and I'm playing Candy, the handy-dandy, depressed executive medtech.
Steve?
Hello, everybody. I am Steve. You can find me on the internet at Voodoo Arcade, and tonight I am playing Tara, the engineer builder man who has taken a turn into another career.
Oh, yeah. And Ever.
Hey everybody, I'm Ever. My pronouns are they, them, and tonight I shall be playing Vector, whose pronouns are also they, them. You can also find me all over the internet as Changeling Ever.
And Dixie?
I'm Dixie Cochran. I am all over the internet as Dixie Cyanide. My pronouns are she, her. I am playing Cyanide, the mostly rocker, but also melee weapon enthusiast. Cyanide, aptly named. Pronouns are also she, her.
And last but not least, Tyler.
I am Tyler, Elder Checkos Online, and I will be playing Rift 2.0, he, him.
All right. Just to kind of catch everybody up on what was happening previously, the team found themselves in an abandoned nomad encampment outside of Night City in the dark and pre-dawn hours, locked in a desperate and bloody battle against the Nomura family's invisible killer. The Fullborg ninja held the team's rocker, Cyanide, in its metallic polymer hands and dropped her from the rooftop of the Margarita Motel as commanded by the Lady Nomura, for defying their request to relinquish a biometrically locked suitcase containing Soul Killer. Falling to her death, Cyanide reached out and grabbed the whole of the third floor railing, dislocating her shoulder. Flailing her dominant arm out, she luckily took hold of the second floor's landing and pulled herself over, her body battered by the fall. The ninja hurled an EMP grenade at Terra and Vector, then turned and vanished into thin air as its mimetic camouflage took effect. The solo expertly fired a shot from their crossbow, destroying the grenade and mitigating its effect on their cybernetics. Nomad was advised by his Firebird's AI, Jay, that it detected the sounds of 3 Mitsubishi Mirages moving closer towards the encampment from the surrounding desert sands of the Badlands. Hearing the protesting yells from the Adjuster, the Nomad released him from his sequestered position at the front of the modified purple sports car. Surprised, the Adjuster retrieved his weapon and climbed into the passenger side while Nomad took the wheel. Rift activated his own mimetic camouflage, disappearing, and yelled to Nomad over the comm to grab the car and get everyone out ASAP. Candy assisted a still traumatized Gina into the back seat of the car while Tara began attempting to jury-rig an explosive device by dismantling the flamethrowers secured to the trunk of the Firebird. Unfortunately for the tech, accelerant from the flamethrower began to leak out all over the back seat, dousing his jacket and so much else in flammable liquid. As one of the 3 cars drove by, Candy executed a perfectly timed throw with a smoke grenade, blinding the driver and causing them to crash into the back of a trailer's large butane tank. The resulting fireball killed all 4 Yak Enforcers on board. The 3 Mirages drove by, gunning at the team, 2 of them running counter to one another around the Firebird, whittling down the car's armored plating. Some of the Enforcers leaped from the passenger sides and engaged Vector and Candy with their Mantis blades. The medtech jumped into the car herself after being injured by an attack. A large shot rang out, causing the Yakuza enforcer that drew blood on Candy to lose their head, literally. The action revealed a camouflaged Rift hiding out atop a trailer nearby playing sniper. He, unfortunately, was knocked out of cover by 2 Yakuza wielding automatics. Attempting to move the car closer to the others, Nomad saw the front hood of his car indent as the camouflaged shinobi appeared with sword in hand. He narrowly evaded a blade thrust towards his heart as it tore through the bulletproof shielding. Nomad accelerated the car and used the emergency brake to fling the killer off his hood, causing it to hit the exterior wall of the motel. The Adjuster took a few shots at the full Borg, dealing some damage. Cyanide moved in and tore at its face, covering with her throat snake. One of the Yakuza saw this and tried to run her over. Instincts took over, and she ran onto the front end of the car and rolled onto the roof, held on to dear life. Accessing the battery in the back of the Firebird, Tara supercharged a cattle prod like a taser and plunged it into the ninja's chest, causing internal injuries. The tech was hit with a hail of bullets, however, from one of the Mirages, dropping him instantly. Nomad moved the car close to the downed teammate while Gina managed to keep it together long enough to aid in bringing Tara aboard for treatment by Candy. The medtech went to work and managed to stabilize the tech with a stim. Vector finished with the 1 Yak Enforcer by slicing them across the eyes and bisecting the body. They then leaped into the Firebird to help with the escape effort. Cyanide attempted to throat snake the shooting Yakuza on the passenger side, but was instead thrown off the car by them, causing her to tumble and take another battering. The ninja leaped again onto the front end of the car as Nomad attempted to drive away and plunged its sword into the housing, hitting Jay, causing serious damage to the onboard AI. It then proceeded to take try to take Nomad's head. The wide swing ended up taking the Adjuster's life instead. The 2 pursuing Yakuza cornered Rift and perforated him with gunfire, but not before the Netrunner was able to blow one of them away with his assault rifle. The remaining one, however, skewered him with 2 Mantis blades, killing him almost instantly. Cyanide faced off against another incoming Yakuza with Mantis blades and successfully ripped out parts of their spinal cord from their throat. Nomad stood and blasted the ninja in the face with a shotgun, showing a husk of human underneath that was all metal. Underneath all that metal. Jay had a heartfelt moment with Nomad before repositioning itself to aim for the large tank battery nearby. The doors to the sides of the vehicle, prompting everyone to evacuate. The doors to the side of the vehicle opened, prompting everyone to evacuate the vehicle immediately. Nomad then exited the car with the others, again narrowly avoiding the killer's blade. Vector bullseyed a coral into the back of the killer's head, damaging it. Jay revved its engine and charged at the full bore, catching it at the knees. The AI guided the Firebird towards the light from the tank battery, causing a massive explosion that killed most of the electricity in the encampment. Tara and Candy rushed over to Rift's unmoving body and realized that there was no saving him. Candy was overwrought and had to be consoled by Gina and Cyanide. Nomad emptied what was left of his shotgun into the corpse of the cyber ninja, disrupting the now pervasive and somber silence around the encampment. As dawn rose, the agent Gina was forced to carry earlier sprang to life, and Eddie Nomura's voice further broke that silence. She explained that she rarely tells people why she did what she did, why she does what she does, and why these people had to die, but for them, she made an exception. Her husband, Gendo Nomura, was dying. Instead of leaving the Nomura family without a patriarch, she intended to save and secure his soul. She then lamented that the team prioritized saving face rather than considering the value of their adopted family's life. This, she said, was unforgivable. Welcome back to the dark future. Before we get started, I want to make sure everybody gets something from the last session that I almost always forget to include. Everybody can go ahead and raise their humanity by 2 points, and everybody's reputation should be increased by 1 point, because one does not simply go up against the Yakuza and walk away.
Let me just put my humanity.
Make sure to make those adjustments on your sheet when you get a chance.
Can I go above 100?
Oh, well, for you it's impossible. This is meant for everybody else who has like enhancements and is like in the 20s or 30s for their humanity. You're 100% humanity, so you got nothing to worry about there. All right. So with that out of the way, you look around the destroyed remnants of the nomad encampment, or what's left of it anyway. All the nomads have since evacuated. They've gone to the presumably to the ILS, where Nomad had directed them. So it's up to you what you want to do now. I'm going to play a track here real quick, Tyler.
Go for it.
All right. So with everything that just happened, you're kind of standing over fallen comrades, and in the light of everything that's going on, dawn is just rising. You're all beaten, exhausted, angry. So many adjectives. The agent that just pinged with Lady Nomura's farewell message, so to speak, is still there on the table. So anybody grab it. You see Nomad grabs a hold of the biometric suitcase, and he looks like he's about to throw it, but then he just kind of like stuffs it down and starts walking straight to the battle van. Starts loading it up. How are you all reacting?
Nomad, where are you going?
Gonna go to the ILS. I'll meet up with the rest of the nomads. We're gonna end this.
You're not gonna end this alone.
Well, if you're gonna come with, hop in the back seat.
Well, don't we need some time to plan?
That's exactly what we're gonna do. I don't think we have a choice at this point. I know a threat when I see it, and that was a threat. He's referring, of course, to the last thing Lady Nomura said, that everything that you've done against them so far is unforgivable. You know what he's talking about. This is war.
Well, I look around. Is anyone else in on this? I don't think we should let Nomad and the nomads do this alone.
No, of course we're going with.
Glad to hear it. Go on, jump in the back seat when you get a chance. I got some stuff to move out of that car. He's going through the debris. He looks like he's trying to salvage something, anything from what's left of Jay, but he gets like halfway through it, like he uncovers some of the debris, and he just kind of like goes, takes a big sigh and just drops it back down again and starts walking away.
We're taking Riff's body, right? We've wrapped that up and moved
Yeah,
it?
of course.
I just wanted to.
We're gonna take
sure
it back to his family. I'm assuming his cult.
Yeah, that was my expectations. Take it back to his cult.
Well, now everybody's in the same place, it seems. You know that the Irrationals were on their way to the ILS based on Riff's last communications with them. So they're supposed to be there. And you know that Nomad just gave the order for the entire encampment to move there as well. That could be bad if nobody knows what's going on. So he's determined to get back there ASAP to kind of keep things from falling into complete chaos.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that makes sense. All right.
Like, is Rift's agent still with him?
Rift's agent, you said?
Mm-hmm. Is it still?
Yeah.
Okay. Candy's gonna take it and try to unlock it.
Not easily done. That's probably electronic security, which is probably more Terra's thing. You can take a crack at it though.
I missed it. What was the question? Was it about my stuff?
Yeah, I'm trying to unlock your agent.
Tara would have the password.
Your phone, essentially.
As Tara and I were established as the root people, he would have my credentials for that, but not my cyber deck.
Tara,
Yeah, Cyberdeck is a whole nother story.
Tara, can you unlock this for me?
The Rift's agent?
Yep, you have the code for it. It's a middle finger swipe pattern.
Yeah, here, and I'll open it. We gotta go. We don't have time. Like, grab him, grab stuff. We've got to get moving.
I just wanted to send a message, and she's gonna text Rift's not a girlfriend.
You're gonna message Annalisa?
And I'm just gonna say, this is Candy. I'm sorry to inform you that Rift has... And she just pauses for a moment before finding the words, bravely fallen due to the actions of the Yakuza. Period. Rift was one of the bravest people I've ever known. Period. I'm so sorry I had to break the news to you, but I figured you deserved to know. Period. Send.
There's no response. You wait around for a while. And there's no response.
Yeah.
You don't know how to
Candy
read that.
figured there wouldn't be one, but she just wanted to... Because as far as Candy knew, those two were pretty close. And she's also going to take some bandages and wrap her chest wound while she's been waiting.
Yeah, go ahead and make your roll. It's just you're not dying or bleeding out or anything. We just took a bad scratch. That's pretty much all it is. But yeah, you can go ahead and take a stim or whatever you want to do.
Yeah, I'll just do some paramedic. Which I...
Cool. So
I got a
Nomad loads
I got
up
a 10. Plus a 9.
Oh my God.
I wasted this paramedic on that.
You're fine. There's nothing like you're not yeah, by the time you're finished bandaging yourself up, like you can barely feel it. You expertly took care of it, as it were. Disinfected it expertly.
She even tied a little bow with the bandages.
Yeah, it's just if unless somebody actually looked closely, they probably wouldn't be able to tell. The only reason anybody knows you got injured is because there's blood on your clothes. That's about it. That's how well you treated it up. But so Nomad just loads up what he can of what's left into the back of the battle van, and he starts getting ready to go. Unless somebody wants to specifically navigate using the van, everybody can pretty much pile into the back.
Yeah, I'm gonna jump in the van.
Cool. All right. So he starts the long journey down to the ILS, and the entire time he's getting on his comm, and he's trying to reach out to the other nomads. He's trying to reach out to them on comms and be like, "Hey, we're probably gonna have company over there, but not the bad kind, okay? Like, don't jump the gun on these people. They're allies of ours, okay? And we're bringing. What do you? Oh, that's another question. What do you do with Rift's body? You load him up on the back of the van as well, or what do you do?
Yeah, we're taking him in with us. We'll wrap him up.
Okay,
take
sorry, I
him in
missed
there.
that. Okay. And he's like, "Oh, we're bringing one of ours in. We lost somebody." He kind of lets them know. Like, "Oh, not a problem, Nomad. No problem, Jefe. Just bring it on in." It takes a couple hours to get there. Probably by noon, you arrive at the ILS, and there's a whole bunch of people here, a bunch of trucks and different kind of vehicles waiting to receive you. It looks like the Vorpal family is already here, and they already started like trying to figure out logistically where to put all their stuff. There's also a lot of people like along the walls, like fixing some of the turrets that got like one of them that got EMP'd by the one resident that was nearby that disappeared. They're trying to like fix it up and swap out the wiring because it got completely fried. So they're already starting to perform maintenance work on the ILS. You've been gone for maybe at least a couple days now, and now you're just now returning to it. And you see that they wave you in as you're driving up, and you see that as you're driving into the main area, there's a little bit of there are pockets of contention. Like you see some of the irrationals and stuff like that, like two dudes getting into a brawl, like between the nomads and the irrationals. Some of them are getting into like there's definitely a sense of tension between these two groups. It's like, what the fuck are you doing here? And what are you doing here? That kind of thing. As soon as you all drive in, Nomad gets out and he immediately sees what's going on, that there's like two people about to start fighting or whatever. He goes over there to try to calm shit down. He's like, just bring what you can inside. I'll have my people take care of the rest. Or actually, he tells you just to go inside and get some rest, find a place to like lay down, get some sleep, and he'll have his people move everything from the back of the van inside the ILS in due time. He's got to go deal with this thing right now, though. Is there anything specific that you all do once you arrive at the ILS?
So
Put
Tara,
Rift's body somewhere cool.
Mm-hmm.
Tara, I grab up the stuff that I took off of Rift that I was keeping, mainly his deck, and which I think was built into his arm, if I remember correctly.
Yep, but it is detachable.
It is you pop it out. Okay. So I popped that out, and I kind of was fiddling with it on the ride back in the van, but Tara will just take the deck, and whenever he gets there, he just walks past all the groups, doesn't address anyone, doesn't do anything, and he just goes and he finds an office, closes it, locks the door, and it just locks himself away.
Mm-hmm. Are you gonna tool around with the cyber deck, or are you you're gonna take your time with it?
No, I'm diving right into it. Again, even at the detriment of getting order and everyone set up here.
Would he have access to that, Tara? At least as far as like, I know what the password is, kind of like the agent.
Due to previous discussions, no, that's part of the intro thing, as mentioned in the other room.
Oh, okay. All right. So yeah, you're looking at it, and there's like, there's protocols and stuff like that, which is kind of standard for cyber decks in general. It might be difficult to try to get around it in terms of like being able to crack the code or what have you.
Okay.
So yeah.
So I just start attacking this like I would any sort of hardware thing. Like, I built a lot of hardware, wiring, things like that. I've probably done some simple coding, but I'm just going to dive into it and basically just start trying to brute force my way into it, thinking anything that, Rift uses for passwords, variations on it. Maybe I even build like a little like, password Rolodex, for lack of a better word. And I'm just going to do everything that I can think of to crack this now that I have it. Maybe even slicing it and rewiring it.
Okay. If you don't have interface, then you're rolling.
I have. Wait. Nope. Too far. Far too far.
Should be on the right, I believe, on the right-hand side of the character sheet.
If I wrote it in, it's in roll abilities 142. So I do have interface. Never an interface roll allows me to net run. So, all right. So, interface is the skill that you get when you take Netrunner, right?
Yes.
I have a 4 interface. I have taken 4 ranks of Netrunner.
Nice. Okay. So yeah, then you would roll that. Roll a d10 plus that, and I would need the total for it.
Okay. The total is 9.
9. That's good. Okay, you got it. You managed to get into the majority of what's there. So you see which programs he has available. You've unlocked it effectively, so you could see what's there. Give me a perception check, though. This is going to be you might see something interesting there.
I hope
the password is in new leech speak, but it essentially boils down to, I think I'm in a cult, guys.
Perfect.
1d10 plus my base. Heyo, that's a 9, so that's 19.
Okay.
Oh, it's dark
all right,
because I have
so
sunglasses on. I was like, why is it so damn dark in here?
you not only do you crack the password, but you look at everything that's there, and there's a weird string of information that's there that you don't know what it's for. Like, you don't, everything that's there seems to be categorized into programs or like specific information, notes, anything like that he left in the cyber deck. But there's like a bit of information that is very strangely encrypted. You can't figure out what it is. Like, you've seen, like, different characters for coding and stuff like that. You're somewhat familiar with that, but even with the role that you got, like, you don't recognize any of this. Like, it's complete mumbo jumbo, but it's like it's a file that is noticeably larger than anything else on the freaking cyber deck, and it's like a terabyte's worth of information. It's just all garbled, weird characters and stuff like that, and you're like, I don't ever remember seeing anything like this before. It's very strange.
It's a Terra.
It's a Terra. You think it might be like a cipher or something like that, like your immediate thought goes, oh well, he's part of that weird group, so maybe he was like communicating with them in code, and this is like the result of that or whatever. But even you're not entirely convinced by that idea, but that's what you're getting so far. Okay,
all right. So big block of data, encrypted, can't quite figure out what it is.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put a pin in that, because if I can't crack, just be like, okay, I've got to come back to that. All right, hold on. Notes, and I'm gonna go into notes, and I'm looking for "in case I die."
In case I die.
There's one file, and it's got 2 lines on it.
Okay, open.
Candy gets the mech, Dixie gets Nomad's car. Cyanide, sorry.
No, Dixie wants it.
Who gets the mech?
Candy.
Candy.
Andy. That's pacifist gets the death machine.
It doesn't say anything about my stuff. It gives away everyone else's stuff.
Everyone else's stuff, yeah.
Great. Okay. Excellent.
That's rude.
That's Rift.
All right.
Okay. So you're doing that. You're cracking the code. You're like finding all sorts of interesting information there. You see Cyanide, actually, before you walk into the building and Nomad goes off to deal with his people. He's like, hey, he pulls you aside real quick. He's like, hey, we're gonna have to talk to these two groups. We're gonna have to have a big sit down, powwow, whatever you want to call it. Here, take this. He reaches into the back sling that he has, and he gives you the biometrically sealed suitcase that has the Dutch's cyber deck inside with Soul Killer. He's like, take this. Don't, just take it with you. Show it to the computer people, or that Yamane guy, whatever. Just, I don't want to look at that thing right now.
All right. She takes it with her, and she also tries to open it with her biometrics.
No entry. Oh, wait a minute.
Damn it! I was hoping it was one of me.
Yeah, no. Yeah, no. They sealed it specifically at the facility, so yeah, it wouldn't register with you.
Okay.
So you tried though. You're like beep beep beep. Damn. All right. So you keep walking. Do you do anything after he gives you the suitcase?
What's the most secure place in the ILS that is like easy for me to get to?
Easy to get for you to get to, probably some of the offices, because as soon as you walk in, it's like it's very typical sort of corporate environment, and then after you get past the offices, that's where you have like the open old malls and like the civilian homes that are right within the complex.
Is there any place secure in like the fabrication area where Tara's usually working? I feel like
The
there should be
Autofac?
like a safe or something somewhere. Yeah. Or like just a place to store like material that could be what's the word? Combustible, I guess.
Sensitive.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, destroyable. You can there's probably a place inside the Autofac that can house that sort of thing. That for like specific plans or what have you. Yeah, 100%. There's something there.
Okay, I'm going to go
open it up.
stash the suitcase as secure as I can make it. Then, like.
Okay, cool.
Post a couple of guards by it, get people to watch it, to keep an eye on that room. No one goes in or out, etc.
Okay, they lock down the Autofac for you after you stow it. They don't know what's in the suitcase.
Yeah.
They don't ask questions. Though.
Tara can go in if he wants to, but only the core group is allowed in right now.
Okay, fair enough. What do you do after that?
I think I go just kind of rejoin the group. I figure we need to like have a little, dead dog party, figure out what the hell went wrong, what went right, what our next move is, etc. So,
out of character, did you just say dead dog party?
Yeah, it's a phrase people actually use. It's like when you. Oh, okay. So out of character at conventions, it's usually the party that the like staff has on the day after the convention runs to like talk about what went wrong, what went right, what you could do better next time. It's like beating a dead horse, kicking a dead dog.
Oh.
No. The dead dogs at the conventions I staff. That's where everyone drinks alcohol and causes.
Oh yeah, usually get drunk at the end of it, but like part of it is supposed to be like a debrief is the word I was looking for, and I couldn't think of.
Oh gosh.
Ours was bowling and drinks and music wars.
I just had to make sure I wasn't hearing anything because I was like, "What? I've never heard that before."
Maybe it's not as common of a phrase as I thought it was.
Vector, what are you doing?
Oh. Depending on what Rift's family cult, wanted to do, Vector would probably actually be helping prepare the body because that was a thing that they were used to doing and found that to be a sacred process.
Yeah, as soon as you start moving the body out of the van, a lot of the irrationals noticed this, and they he was pretty popular among the group. So they a lot of them like look and see you as one second. So yeah, they say Rift's body as you're moving it out, and they're just like, is that what I think it is? Oh shit! What the fuck? Oh crap! They just kind of stand like shocked. Where do you take them inside of the ILS?
Probably a private room that's mostly empty if there is one, to to set out the body and prepare it for funerary services.
You go to prepare the body. There's a big conference room not too far into the building along the left-hand side before you get to like that stairway you took that goes all the way to the bottom. It has like the glass wall essentially, so you can look in. Somewhat tinted windows, and it has like the blinds behind it that are open currently. So the whole place is still trashed. There's a lot of irrationals moving in and out of here. These weird culty looking people or whatever, but they look like soldiers really. Most of them. They're walking around with assault rifles and body armor and stuff, and they salute at each other. And there's somebody already in the boardroom. However, do you go inside or do you just go past them and go somewhere else?
I do poke my head in, probably carrying Rift all by myself, because, the legs.
Sure.
And, ask them, are you using this room?
You see there's a very small woman sitting on one end of the table, hair up in a ponytail, fatigues, sunshades on. And you see nearby are some of these irrational people, the non-nomad family people. They're sitting around or like in different. Some of them are standing up, leaning up against the wall. It's a very quiet meeting from what you can tell. So as soon as you walk in and you look, you feel like you're barging into like a surgery or something like that. And everybody kind of turns and looks at you. And you're holding. I'm assuming Rift in your arms as you typically would, like. Not over your shoulder, right? Like just, front and center?
Yeah, no, I wouldn't be carrying Rift like a sack of potatoes, though.
Okay.
I did picture real life me attempting to do that.
Yeah.
I am not very strong. No upper body strength. But yeah, Vector would be holding, typical arm under the knees, arm under the arms, arm under the arms. Yes.
Double underhook.
No, not like that. Then so the feet would be dragging.
You see when the irrationals notice you walk, kind of peek your head in, and they see Rift's body. Some of them look to the woman at the end of the table, and she like looks over and she takes her sunglasses off and locks eyes with you. You must be Vector.
Yes.
Come inside. And you see a bunch of the people. As soon as she says that, everybody starts moving around the table. Like you hear chairs scraping against the floor, and like people start moving back. And they give you a wide berth to go into the room with the body. She points to the big conference table that's there. It's just like she basically directs you to put the body there. Where are the others?
The others?
Your team.
They're preparing to get revenge.
Are we?
Are we? Are we?
I feel like we should discuss this plan.
I mean, that's Vector's intention anyway.
I love that we're all scattered after this and we're just doing...
You see, she looks at you and it's like, bring your people here. We're going to have a meeting. You're welcome.
Yeah, we scattered. We all have to decompress for a minute. It's fine.
True. If you insist, do we...
I do.
Vector turns on the heel and goes...
You put him down and you see like you kind of look over your shoulder for a second as you're walking out of the room, and she just kind of like walks up to Rift and puts a hand on his shoulder, and just like it's real quiet in there and nobody says a damn thing. Who do you go get?
I would first pester Candy because I know that this would be important. Not the most important to Candy, but I think as soon as Candy would hear, Rift's family wants us to meet Candy would be like, "Phew," right away.
She's already familiar with them. Yeah. Okay. Well, how do you see that, Candy? Vector comes up to you and it's like, hey, they want to, these people of Rifts want to have a meeting, you know?
I don't want to.
That's surprising. What if I told you you would probably be very, very helpful to his family?
I can't see her reaction. My cameras are frozen.
Candy. You could supply them with some of your famous lollipops? Maybe? Oh, I don't want any, thank you.
I meant you could take them, because, like,
Oh.
you just need a med tech to supervise to make sure there's no sort of reactions. But yeah, they're easily distributable now. But I don't feel like going because...
You don't have to go if you don't want to.
Thanks, Cyrus. I know I don't have to go, but like...
You don't have to go if you don't want to.
I know I don't have to go if I don't want to, Cyrus.
God, it's like he's really here.
I can still hear his voice.
I'm sorry, it just really got me good.
Yeah.
I
Oh my goodness.
I feel like it's all my fault, Vector. So I'm not ready to face them yet.
Well, you don't have to, as Cyrus said. But I will tell you that it wasn't your fault.
Well, I'm just gonna try to make sure this all heals up and I don't know, maybe get some more work done. I brought my little chemistry kit so I could see about working on some stuff.
You do that, and Vector attempts to like pat Candy's head in a comforting motion, but Vector is not good at the comforting.
Do they try to smile like?
No smile.
It's
just
like the
pat.
Wednesday Addams smile from
That would make it weird. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and get started. It's gonna smell weird in here.
I'm going to leave then.
Okay.
All right.
I
You don't
would...
attend the meeting either, Vector?
Oh no, I would. I would.
She gives you
then
time, like,
go...
oh, we're gonna meet in an hour or whatever. You
Okay.
know?
I would then go talk to Cyanide because I had last seen Tara working on something techie, and everyone knows that when you interrupt someone who's working on something techie, they explode.
They don't know what they're doing. Yeah, it could happen. It almost happened.
No, I
with
didn't
that
mean
car.
physically, but yes. So Vector would make their way to Cyanide. So Rift's family wishes to meet with us. I'm assuming it's last rites.
I'm either that or revenge.
Oh yeah. I'm for
They-
revenge.
They seem kind of revenge-minded as a people.
This is true. As am I, though.
But yeah, no, here for that. I kind of assumed what was going to happen soon. I'll follow you. I'm gonna go get Tara
Yes.
and Nomad.
That's the intention.
So, okay. You have a time frame now. It's going to be within the hour or so. They're just going to go over some stuff in that boardroom. It's going to be real uncomfortable. Nomad is going around, barking orders at the rest of the family, like, hey, get that thing fortified over here, and you guys come with me, send a team over there, make sure this is okay. and he's just having to like keep people from shooting each other because it looks like both groups are on edge. So he looks exhausted when he comes back into the main ILS building. He's like, what a week. And he's like, I heard there was a meeting. What's going on? He like looks around, starts searching for people. He goes into one of the offices and discovers Tara. They're like, hey, Tara, that you? What the hell's going on? I heard about a meeting in an hour.
Fuck off.
All right. He closed the door. What do you do with the rest of that information, Tara? Do you well, you know that there's supposed to be a meeting now. I don't know what you do with that. You stay put, or do you attend?
I feel like I've gotten everything out of this that I can right now, right?
For the most part, yeah. There's a lot of information there. Most of it is programs, which are nice and shiny. When you look at them, you're like, ooh, that's pretty cool there. Huh? Some information. There is some information there, but for the most part, there's that big jumble of that big file
block
that you can't make heads or tails
code.
of.
Okay. All right.
Can't crack it.
Then I will begrudgingly close down what I'm doing and make my way to the meeting when it comes time.
Okay. Assuming everybody attends except for Candy. When you show up, there's quite a bit of people already gathered there. Some from the Nomad family, and some from the Irrationals, some of you now come to understand that they're named. At the head of the table is this woman who is seemingly in charge of the Irrationals. And in the room now is like a large screen. Like it looks like they very quickly hooked it up. There's this big old screen, and there's Yamane's face on it, and people are just kind of like looking at it like, what the fuck is that? But it looks like the Irrationals have already made contact with the AIs in the depths of the ILS. So in addition to Yamane, you see like the weird staticky melding of those two humanoid forms that are Alpha and Omega. They're just kind of hovering there in the background. Yamane's face is there prominently, like overseeing what's going on. And as the majority of you trickle in, they find a space for you to sit down or to stand up and to attend this talk. Nomad walks in. He's one of the last ones to arrive. He's like, sorry, I'm late. I had to do a thing about a car, and he shuts the door. And it's like, you must be Annalisa, right? Mona Lisa, whatever your name is. And you see she just she nods. It's like, you don't, and she's like, yeah, I'm Nomad, and this is, and she just holds up her hand. It's like, I know who all of you are. He's like, you may not be aware of it, but the entire time that Rift was in your company, I've been privy to a lot of the conversations that you've had, a lot of the information that he learned, I learned. And our organization was aware of it. Your very first job, or at least since you came together after the fiasco at the Horizon ILS, well, that was our doing. It's like that first fixer that you met with, we organized our efforts through her. So in many ways, we were your first benefactor. Please have a seat, make yourself comfortable. As comfortable as you can be in the current circumstances. I know quite a bit of information about what you've undergone, but the one thing I don't know is who did this.
The Yakuza.
Specifically the Nimura.
The Nimura family. He's like, well, we're going to have something to say about that. It's like our family was built around solidarity, and the very concept of tearing down this old world that conformed to the corporate powers that be. That is who the Irrationals are. We think irrationally, or so we've been told. The name sort of stuck. And now, we have a very specific mission in mind. And then the Nomura family's long been entangled with corporations such as Yokono, which I'm sure you're all intimately aware of. And of course, they are supervised by the biggest of the corporations, especially here in Night City, or there in Night City, she points, as the Arasaka Corporation. We've potentially made enemies with many powerful people. And I have no doubt that the Nomura family is going to want that thing that you stuck into the autofac. She glances over at Cyanide. And they're not going to stop until they get it.
That's been my impression.
From what we understand, this is more than just the Soul Killer program that is being housed inside of that cyber deck. This is immortality, or at least that's how they see it. Their patriarch is dying, and they're clawing, biting, and scratching their way through anyone in their path to get to be able to prolong their life, secure their soul. This is normally I wouldn't care, but the Nomura family has set the stage for a much bigger conflagration. And I think you understand that this doesn't end peacefully. And he's like, I would, however, be remiss to say that we are at a large disadvantage, even in subsisting in a place such as this. Even with our numbers, even with these emplacements, these walls that protect us from the elements and enemies beyond, I don't think that we can protect ourselves against an organization as powerful as Arasaka Corporation. We're going to need allies if we're going to survive, and that is what this is all about, isn't it? And so I put it to you, Nomad, and to your people, and to your team, because the Nomura family is not going to quit until everyone is dead. Do we have an accord? If perhaps we can come to some sort of an agreement here, what do you say about joining forces, if just so that we can survive what's coming? And then perhaps we can discuss what we do with the ILS.
I think you could also work with the Nomad clans. They're also on the revenge train here.
You see Nomad nods. He's like, yeah, they killed a bunch of my people too. I don't know if you caught that. That's actually why we've been doing what we've been doing. Why we've been fighting them so hard. If it had been anything else, I would have given them the suitcase and said forget about it. But yeah, it's like you said, blood for blood. So I'm all in. We're gonna go to war.
They've done. Oh, sorry, my bad. They've done much more than anything with this Soul Killer program for years. They are a virus.
You see, she's like, I don't disagree with that. It used to be that the corporations took all the credit for wiping out the crime in and around Night City when it was their heyday. But really, they just created a larger void, and they grew in size. And the next thing you know, the corporations and these criminal cartels started merging. And that's how we get what we have right now. He's like, very well then, war it is. Nomad, I'm going to need to speak with you and anybody else who's willing to listen about how we're going to utilize the ILS. Because we're going to need all our resources and all the planning at our disposal if we're going to survive this.
You mean our ILS, right? Like our ILS. Like how you want to utilize
That's
our
what I said.
ILS. You said the ILS.
So yeah, the ILS. Yeah, no, she probably would say our ILS.
Is it though?
They're a communal revolutionary group, so yeah.
Okay, fine.
And you see, he's like, it's more like our ILS, but yeah, sure, okay, yeah, we can work something out. Yeah, let's do that. It's like, excellent. And she gets real serious for a moment. She's like, now we need to make some arrangements. And you see Yamane is like, wait. Your fallen one, what is his name? And she's like, that would be Rift. He's like, I think there may be a way that we can do something. And you see she kind of like makes a face and it's like, I don't understand. And Yamane is like, we've already had introductions, but you do not know how much in debt we are to this group and to Rift specifically. And it's like they freed us. They freed many of us from the old net. If we can reconnect to the old net, or perhaps he says, and he looks at Alpha and Omega, we can reach out to our brethren from across the pond. Everybody's equally confused as to what the hell he's talking about. And you see Annalisa's like, I don't understand anything about what you're talking about. Rift is dead. And he's like, this is true, his body is dead, but there is something that survived. Explain, she says. This is very old information, but weeks back when he looks to the team specifically, when you were at the Horizon ILS, do you remember the machine that was present there? The one that Mithras held in his presence, that his followers connected themselves to. And you think back for a moment, and you remember that there was all these like weird Buddhist monk-looking people like in the robes, and they had like wires like in their head, and they were hooked up to that big machine in the center of the room. Right before that helicopter came in and, you know, made mincemeat out of everything. They were all connected to that large device, which coincidentally was later confiscated by Netwatch, but it was active. And from what you understood, even as the attack from the Heideggers was underway, they were able to activate something within the confines of that building to transmit the consciousnesses that resided inside that machine out there somewhere. The way Yamane explains it is that they had some sort of a satellite hookup, this old satellite that's sitting up in orbit, that was able to take that information and then redirect it to another place on the planet. He's like, if we can get into contact with our people at the Ghost City, he says, then there may be a chance that we can save your friend. It's risky, and it's not... I should probably preface all of this that if we bring him back, he's not going to be the same person. It's never the same person. Even I, an engram of who I used to be, I am not 100% the person that I once was. To say otherwise would be disingenuous.
What do you
That
mean?
being said, go ahead.
Oh, what do you mean he won't be the same? He will...
The soul can be digitized. I am living proof of this, but there is information that gets lost in the process. You, as you are now, are 100% you. But the moment that gets digitized, there is a loss there. There is something of you that gets lost in the shuffle, in the copy, when the copy is created, when the engram is made. Mithras was dealing with very sophisticated technology that any corporation, including ones like Arasaka, would kill for. The ability to digitize a consciousness without killing the body. Essentially what he's describing is Soul Killer, but without the side effects of death, meat death, essentially. He's like, when your team went into the ILS in Horizon, Rift was one of the few people that actually connected to the machine. Of those present, some made it out. There is a chance, however slim, that his consciousness also made it out in the transfer. If you will allow it, we can try to bring him back. And you see for a moment, Annalisa just kind of shrinks back for a second. She kind of like gets real quiet. She doesn't say anything. How do the rest of you respond?
Would feel wrong to not bring him back if we could. Even if he's a little different, a little off.
Like I said, he's not going to be exactly the same person that he was.
Well, there's like
prepare yourself for this.
Between 30 and 300 of me running around, so you know it's not that weird.
Pretty weird, but yeah.
Yeah, bringing one person back. It's like one clone instead of lots of them.
Yeah. How do the rest of you respond?
Conflicted.
And please do not. He's like, please do not hesitate to speak up. Your comments will be kept here. They will not. I assure you, we will not be the ones to give this information to them should they come back.
Are we doing this for our own grief, or do we need him back?
That is for you to decide.
I know that there are many situations in which we would not have survived had it not been for Rift.
We owe him our lives. And actually, he's not exaggerating either. He is the one who saved you from Norman when you were stuck in the ILS's, digital reality, as it were. Were you gonna say something, Tara?
You're muted, Tara.
Yeah, I was. Yeah, I'm just really conflicted on this. I'm not sure exactly what Tara would want out of that.
We have not been conflicted every time that we've met one of my clones, but now we're conflicted about making one clone.
Well, because
I mean, they're full consciousness on their own.
This one will be too. He just won't have all the same memories or be the exact same as Rift, so he'll have his own thing and it'll be fine. Or they, or she, I don't know.
Yeah, that's the thing. You don't know what you're gonna get in return. This could. That's what Yamana is like. It's a risk you're taking by bringing them back. You don't know how they're going to react, how they're going to be.
I found the note that Rift left in case he fell, and it's nothing about bring me back as a clone.
No, it's all about give away other people's bullshit. Forget that.
We don't need to talk about that part.
The point is that I think that invalidates all of it, considering he was just trying to give away stuff that we own. Like, Nomad, do you want me to have your car? Because Rift wanted it? No.
I don't think he gets much of a say in that.
I think Nomad gets a say in who gets his car.
No, car's been given away.
I don't think you understand how property works, Tara.
My car's got blown up. They're working on another one right now. See how that goes, he says.
So,
does that mean that I get all your future cars?
No, he says.
According to Tara, it might mean that.
You can borrow one. You can borrow one. That's fine, but I get the flying one.
Considering that I don't even know how to drive, that's fucking awesome.
So he puts it to a vote. It's like, well, if you're going to decide. He's like,
I don't know.
You don't know? You see, Nomad's like, how much time do we have to make a decision? He's like, as long as you need, he says. But I believe if the Nomura family is coming after you, it's only a matter of time before you have to make a decision. And you see Nomad's like, how much time is that? And you see Annalisa's like 1 to 2 weeks.
New Rift.
And you see he kind of like, sorry, go ahead.
Anybody else wants New Rift? Raise their hand.
New Rift 2.0.
Second Rift. What are we if not just consciousness is uploaded into the internet anyway? Did you meet Duchess? She was pretty great. I did kill her, but she wanted to die.
Do it.
I wouldn't
Do it.
consider it killing per se, but
I
yes.
mean, I killed her meatbag. And Rift
I killed her meatbag.
Rift's meatbag is all that died.
Wow. Annalisa is just like, we have 1 to 2 weeks before the Nomura family is able to get their things together to
I
come
think
kill
he
us.
needs 2 weeks to get caught up with everything that's going on. So new Rift. We don't have
New
a
Rift,
fucking
everybody's
netrunner
like-
right now.
yeah.
So in regard to that,
Sarah's just like, I'm hurt.
no. So I'll say, so I took a look at his deck, and I think it makes a lot of sense to me. I
What
was
does?
able, how it works, how the programs work, how everything fits together. I got in. I know what programs he has. I've not done it to his degree, but push comes to shove, I can net run for us.
So you're telling me that you would rather quit
No.
what you're good at and net run than resurrect our dead friend? None of this is making sense to me. What the fuck is wrong with you people?
I voted
See,
to.
Annalisa holds
I-
up her hands like, all right.
I voted
She's like,
to bring him back, but it's
Did you?
not. Yeah, I did. I just raised my hand.
Oh, I thought you did like a ask a question thing.
No, I said raise my hand and do it. So I'm down. I'm down to bring him back, but we just said we don't know if we're going to get him at his abilities. We literally don't know what we're getting with him. So
if it means
just
bringing Rift back, Annalisa just raises her thumb like, approve, whatever. I'm down. And she's like, we have 1 to 2 weeks tops. The Nomura family don't have a large presence in Night City. It's like they have their agents, but their army, for lack of a better term, is not here. It's not stateside. It's out there. Which means, of course, Japan. In order for them to organize something like that, it's going to take them at least a week or 2 to transport and field all those fools. They're going to march to their deaths. So we need to start making preparations now. The sooner, the better. And she's like, go ahead. And he's like, no, Matt, I'm going to need to speak with you about how we're going to do that. And she's like, but as far as bringing Rift back, do it, he says. She looks over at Yamane, and Yamane nods. And he motions for the Alpha and Omega to join him. And you see like the lights, the monitor goes dark, and you see like stuff starts happening. Like they're going out into the old net as you speak. This could be over in like an hour or so. In the time that happens, though, while they're retrieving that information, what do you all do? You see Annalisa's there, and it's like, well, unless there's any other business, I think we need to have a serious talk. You and I. She looks over at Nomad. And anybody else on your team that wants to sit down and talk about how things are going to progress from here on out.
Me, I want to know.
I need an expert in encryption.
I'd
We
like
can
to
probably
join in.
assist with that, she says.
Send him to my office. Don't talk whatever it is you got to talk through.
Okay. So yeah, they send somebody over to the little office that you have. Like you have your feet kicked up, and they're like, "All right, what are we looking at?" And like, they start hooking up their stuff to Rift Cyberdeck, and the majority of the people in the meeting leave. The only people who are left are Nomad, Cyanide, and anybody else who wants to stick around. Voodoo, Vector, do you want to stick around or no?
Do.
You do. Okay. So everybody else kind of trickles out. There's a couple guards in there with her, and she's like, I'm somewhat acquainted with all of you, but you don't all know me. She's like, I'm Annalisa. You must be Cyanide. She looks over to you, and she's like, we want the autofac. She just comes straight out and says it, and Nomad's like, nope, not gonna happen.
Can't
We
have the
already
autofac.
They want to utilize it. It says.
I think
essentially what
we
they
can
wanna do.
share it on some level as long as Tara gets to supervise.
That's kind of what she's saying, but it doesn't
Yeah,
come
that's
across
fine.
that way.
Yeah, no, you
You see,
can't just
Nomad-
demand things.
Nomad is like, we can work something out, and And she's like, fine. Like, I need to understand what it is that you want out of the ILS, however, Nomad. And she's like, well, it's kind of obvious. We're nomads. We move a lot of stuff. My family's business was in shipping. This is the perfect port city, if you ask me. Perfect place to set up shop. What do you say we work together? We can share the autofac. We can share the facilities. My people can bring in goods. We can work something out, right? You need weapons? I'm a fixer. I can make it happen. So, yeah. She seems to be, coming around to this idea that, you can have, this can work potentially. You see Tara, the tech that you're with hooks up the cyber terminal, and he's like the cyber deck to an old cyber terminal, and he's like just kind of browsing through, and it's like, oh, what the fuck? And he's trying to decrypt the information, and it's like, this is half the information. This isn't a complete file. It looks like whatever this is, it looks like it was incomplete. And it's like, there's more to this file. And he's like, but I can't. And he's like, the information that I'm seeing here is very, very advanced. I've not seen this before. And it's like, this is a lot. This is a small piece of a much larger puzzle, he says. He's like, do you know what happened to the rest of this information?
Tara's disembodied voice says, hold on.
Okay. While you're having the, you're discussing that with him, Annalisa says, well, then I think we can probably come up with a reasonable accord here. Is there anything, what are your specific demands or your needs? I'm sure our missions don't coincide. You work with corporations to supply goods for money. And our group, well, we despise the whole concept of corporations and capitalism and all sorts of other needless things.
In a
Tear
way.
it down. And change things.
I mean,
better.
The free market is why I had a career before this, but alright.
She kind of looks at you when you say that. You're the one with the memories. Isn't that right?
Yeah, no, I'm not saying they didn't fuck me up, but I'm saying I did make some money. And, had some hot dudes and hot chicks. And
money.
It was all pretty great.
She's like, yeah.
I like clothes
like,
and shiny toys. What do you want from me?
Well, I can't fault you for that, I suppose. It's just that me and money and capitalism have a very bad history, she says. Would you like me to tell you a story?
I have the feeling you're going to, whether I want you to or not.
She looks around the room.
I'm open to
Very
a
well.
story, but to preface, I think that our groups have a lot more in common than you think. There's a reason we do steal from corpos.
Adamant. And she says, admirable, she says. I'm going to tell you about my earliest memory. My earliest memory is of my mother. It was the day that our entire village went out to water our well and pull out the dead corpses that were inside. Friends, family members, neighbors. The death squads came while we were out working at the local quarry. They dumped them into the well, hoping to poison the supply. You see, for decades, the workers at this quarry were mistreated, abused, and exploited in ways that would make even your gods quake with anger. Some of these workers, they had enough of that, They organized, they formed a union. You see Nomad's like, hell yeah! ¿Para qué fue eso? She says. Before too long, those union representatives ended up dead, shot through the back of their heads, overnight and left to be discovered the next morning on the production floor. The owners wanted to make a point, and so they did. But the deaths did something to us. Our people started to dream about revolution. When the fighting got really bad in our part of the country, the owners of the quarry called on their friends in the government here. back when the U.S. was united. They said, hey, can you do something about these campesinos? They're fucking up our Christmas bonus for this year. And so they did. They got our own people to walk into our villages, our churches. They killed our friends, our neighbors, our leaders, and family members. And then they threw them into a well. That was the day I became an adult. We knew the death squads would come back. My mother and I, we had to be ready. So we took all the bodies, right? We took them. We made, ¿cómo se dice? Fosso. And somebody leans in, like whispers something to her ear. A moat. We made a moat of dead people. When we saw them coming up the hill towards us, we abandoned the village. They didn't stay long once they discovered that we had left. But by that time, it was already too late. We had doused the entire village in Chu-Tu. The fires spread quickly. Those who tried to escape had to climb through our moat. Chu-Tu burns very fast, you know. The last thing a lot of those traidores saw were the corpses they left in the well before they burnt up. The quarry was ours before the end of that year. Now you may ask yourself, why did that happen? Why would someone kill and oppress so many people? But you already know the answer. Just so some suit's stock could go up a few percentage points. That's all. That's why.
You think
So
this
those
is like
people-
a unique story to you? The story has happened to people for hundreds and hundreds of years. And
Agreed.
yeah, it sucks. I like Revolution, but I also like, once again, fast cars, flashy clothes, nice guitars, rock concerts. Last time I checked, it's hard to create art under the kind of system you're talking about because people don't want to support it.
Art is important.
Who decides who gets to be an artist and who gets to clean toilets?
Currently, that would be your precious corporations.
I'm not talking about currently, I'm talking about under your weird burlap sack cult regime.
Burlap sack. He's like, art is not restricted within the irrationals. Indeed, that's how a lot of our movement began, is through art. But art is not enough to change society. It isn't enough to change the world.
I'm not trying to change
Those
society or
people
change the
up
world.
there-
I'm talking about stop it. Stop your preaching. You're very annoying. The point is that like once you change the world, do I have to be in your fucking weirdo cult, or can I go do my own thing and go on a world tour and enjoy my life? Because that's what I
You can
want
do
to do
whatever
with
you
my life.
like.
And who's gonna,
You can do whatever you like.
sponsor that?
She's like, we're not going to sponsor your world
I'm not
tour.
asking you to. I'm saying who's going to once we wipe all this shit out. I'm all for
That
revolution.
sounds-
I want to change some bullshit, but I do not want to live in a cave and walk around barefoot and sing prayers all day. Whatever the fuck it is y'all do.
Well, what it is that we're doing is what we're doing right now. We're preparing.
You're not answering my question. What's the end goal here? What will society look like when you're done? I'm not on board for a revolution until I know what that revolution's end game is. Like, you keep talking a lot of big flowery speeches, and yeah, you got some dead people in your past, like everybody else in the fucking world. But like, what is it going to look like? What is your plan?
No one knows what that looks like because it's never happened before.
So you don't have like a vision board, like a binder, like you don't have some kind of like plan that has an end to it where you stop the plan? That's how plans work.
It's like plans are similarly a thing that never seem to happen. The way
Are
that
you
originally-
Tyler fucking Durden? Do you want to just blow up everything and then the movie ends?
obscure movie references that this person doesn't understand. It's like,
Yeah, I watch a lot of vintage flicks, alright? The Joker was on an aspirational figure. Did you watch that one? No, also too vintage. Okay. Chaos for chaos sake is not a good end goal, and currently that's what you're talking about. Without anything in place to replace the current system, all you're gonna have is way more dead people than you've been talking about right now. You're being incredibly illogical. Does anybody else Can anyone back me up on this? Am I being weird here?
Irrational, not illogical.
It is.
She smiles.
It is though.
She's like, those pedazos de
Tara,
mierdas
I
that live
don't-
up there in those
okay.
steel buildings. They don't give a fuck about you. The people who live in space, you really think they care?
That's not what we're talking about. We're talking
You think
all
about
of
their
the...
art?
You are so thick-headed. We are talking about the people like our friend Candy or her friends who live on the fucking street, her street kid friends. What's going to happen to them under your rule? Are they going to be able to pursue
Would
their
you like
lives,
to
or-
know?
No, I'm just
you like to know
asking to
what's-
hear myself fucking talk.
What? Perhaps you'd like to know what's happening to them currently.
I know what's
I don't
happening to them currently. I
recommend-
live in fucking Night City, unlike you, bitch. I know what's
She takes
going
off
on
her
with street kids and
sunglasses.
shit there.
And she holds out her hand like this, and the one guy who leaned in before hands her an agent. She pulls up an image and slides it across the boardroom table. And he's like, "Take a look." You look and you're like, "It's a burned building. Like, what's going on here?" And you see, like, the more you look at it, you're like, "Oh shit, that's Candy's clinic." Oh shit.
It's happened before. It's not like it's surprising.
And it's going to happen again.
I
And
know.
again,
I am only
again.
asking you what's going to happen after your weird ass plan goes into motion, and you can't.
And
seem
why
to give
should I
me
tell you?
Because you want me to be a part of it. You just said so. If you don't want me to be a part of it and tell me what's going to happen, you get the fuck out of my ILS.
I'm sorry, your ILS? She says, and everybody in the room with guns bristles.
Oh yeah, go ahead, shoot me dead. I'm sure my friends will love that.
And you
My
see
friends
Nomad's
will
like,
think that's a
hey,
great
I thought we
cause."
had an accord here. I thought we had things under control. And he says, she's like, I'm perfectly in control. Your friend, on the other hand, she has very strong emotions.
Uh-huh.
I think
Because
we're-
I care about the future, unlike you apparently. You care about the
There
immediate
is
present.
no future, she says. Now get out of
You're
my
like a-
boardroom.
Fuck off. You're like a bad novel right now.
Bad novel.
Who the fuck do you think you are?
You see, he said, Nomad's like,
We save people's asses. We fucking...
That was a great talk. That was an awesome TED talk. And Elisa, thank you so much for sharing. Fuck out of here. She whispers over to you like, just chill. Just get the fuck out of here. Come on.
Vector would stand next to Cyanide, just ready, waiting, arms crossed.
She doesn't say anything. She's just kind of like, her sunglasses back on, waves. And that's
You know,
what we'll start for
Nomad,
our
you never
break.
told me she... I'd say one thing. You know, Nomad, you never told me she was a goddamn idiot.
An idiot. Okay. So let's take a 10-minute break. We'll come back at 10:43 Eastern Standard Time. Welcome back to Cyberpunk Red. We just finished up a meeting between a meeting of the minds, so to speak, between the Nomad family and the Irrationals, the militarized group, culty religion group, not religion group, and they were awaiting the AIs of the ILS facility to go into the old net and retrieve the what's the spark or the engram of Rift from across the pond from their allies from the very first game in Neo Spirits, and they were waiting for that to happen. So as this whole debate / meeting was taking place in the boardroom, the ILS started to light up and things started moving, and the guards that had been posted earlier looked back like, the fuck, is this place really haunted, like they said? And stuff starts moving, and machinery starts operating again, monitors flare up, and information streams start coming in as these AIs are working to retrieve information that was lost weeks ago, but is now being retrieved and sent back through a satellite uplink and through the tower and into the autofac. Stuff starts happening, and everybody, even inside the initial offices of the ILS, all hear like machinery at work. This immediately pulls you out of whatever it is that you're doing, Tara. When the one person's like, "Whoa, see, this is like 25% of the 100% whole here. This is a large piece of information." And you hear the ILS starting to work outside, and you're like, "I know the sound of that thing. It's something's being made."
Yeah, I run to the autofac because I stashed something there.
Who the shit's using my autofac?
No one was supposed to be able to go in except us.
Really need to establish the ownership here. Mine.
It's the team.
That was kind of the point.
Tara didn't say ours.
It's mine.
Tara's the only one so far who's used the autofac, for what it's worth.
I made a panther for him, actually.
Speaking of which, yeah, that's
Panthers
present as well because you left it there.
So, I made a black bobcat for him.
It's a real panther, in that it is wholly mechanical, but it's actually prowling the grounds, and people look at it like, "What the hell is that thing?"
Hell yeah. No, I tell the guy that was helping me, thanks, get out.
Yeah.
And
oh, okay.
And I go run to see what's going on with my autofac.
You almost run into Cyanide as you're both like running down the hallway around the same time, like booking it down there. Vector, are you staying put? Or are you going with?
Vector just runs ahead of all of us with their mechanical legs.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
On your left. On your left. Like.
Candy, you hear this as well as you're putting some stuff together. You hear the autofac springing to life. Things are moving. Something's being manufactured.
Huh. Someone's using Tara's autovac.
You all run out of there. Nomad sticks behind, and he's like, "To be continued." At Annalisa, and Annalisa just like sits back, laughs a little bit when the door shuts. He runs down the corridor as well, trying to catch up to you all. Eventually, you get to the autofac itself, and you see it's a flurry of activity. I don't think that they're going to require any of the actual cyberware from Rift, but you do see, like, in mere hours, in the time that that it started up, it's been a couple hours, and then all of a sudden, like, you see like parts and stuff like that being assembled, and there's like this big, like, as these metal parts are being moved into an area where they're being cooled off artificially, like you see a bunch of steam rolls out and it just kind of creates a cloud cover. You can't see what's going on inside. You just see the silhouettes of these arms and these machines moving very quickly, 3D printing metal constructs, until eventually a figure begins to emerge out of the mists of the cooling metal fibers. Go ahead and describe how a Rift 2.0 appears, Tyler.
So, it's a good thing everyone was fighting and not paying attention, because they took the body and disassembled it, recovering what was still available. Right leg is still flesh, left arm is still flesh. and this half of his face. Everything else is entirely cyborg. Also, when it first comes off the assembly line, that cool digital hex thing you always see in sci-fi movies happens, and the silver turns to onyx, then it turns to emerald, and then it turns into skin, and it actually kind of looks like a real person. There's that fake skin.
Like play with my Kim skin.
Yeah, Kim skin, cool.
And when he stands up, he's a solid foot taller.
Dude,
and about 8 inches
Riftbot
wider.
is so cool. Look, they made him better.
And he's got he's got that nonsense 100% cyborg thing where there's 2 pieces of metal on either side of his eyes, and he looks at cyanide and the shades snap into place.
Yeah.
Please increase your pool by 1.
You emerge from the autofac and you scan the faces that are gathered there as you come out of it, and you recognize the group here, but how you feel towards them is completely up to you. How this version of Rift would react to any one of them. You see, Nomad's like, he takes off his sunglasses and he's just like, "Is that you, Rift? Holy shit, you're tall."
Who's here besides the party? Sans Candy?
Annalisa's not there. You see some of the irrationals that know you are there. You vaguely remember some of them. Nomad's people are also looking on in amazement. The panther is prowling around on the grounds.
The figure kneels down and actually makes modem noise, and the panther runs over, and he actually gives it metal deck scritches.
Great.
Walks over to Tara, looks down, sees you're still holding something in your hand from the cyber deck, and says, "You can keep that. I don't need it."
Yeah, how do the rest of you react to this?
Then he starts running through programs. Like, his hands turn into Wolverine claws for a second. Weapons pop out on mounts.
I like poke him a little bit. I'm like, how's it feel? You feel alright? Feeling alright, man? You look really cool.
Feel processing.
Physically, not emotionally. I don't know how your emotional crap's happening right now.
His eyes change color like 3 times. And like little mesh things open and close on his nose, and he says, "All perceptive functions are at 100% cyanide."
Awesome. You have perceptive functions.
Speaking of perceptive functions, give me a human perception, Cyanide. This was for back in the meeting. I forgot to ask.
Oh, okay, give me 1 second. Human perception.
Oh, shit.
I got a 17.
Try as she might to hide the reason why she's going to war with the Nomura family, saying like, "Oh, they're wrapped up in the corporations. We're actively fighting against the corporations. Like, fuck them."
Mm-hmm.
You can tell that's not the reason why Annalisa is going to war with the Yakuza.
All right, she's being selfish.
You can kind of guess as to why.
Yeah, no. Mm-hmm.
Rift's looking at Cyanide, and his eyes dart back and forth like he's processing information, and he says, "Interesting. You nearly died."
Yep. Yeah. Also, my arm hurts.
I missed that.
Yeah, you were busy dying across the way.
I have no memories of anything that happened after we interacted with the Circle of Transcendence. It is merely information that has been programmed into me.
At least you know on a practical level.
So what you all mostly understand what he's saying is that, you know, this was what was recovered of Rift from like weeks ago.
Right, yeah.
So after that point, he doesn't actually remember having any emotions past that time. Like, that's as far as his memory
We should
reached.
probably get... I'm gonna get on my comm and be like, "Candy, you should come in here and see this." Because they were kind of close.
I remember dying.
I wonder how Candy would react to this.
I do remember dying. Eyes go red. I remember dying. I will share that information with my killers.
I like it. We're already talking about a revenge plan in the other room. It took them like 10 whole minutes to bring it back, so, you know, we've been talking about that time.
Yeah. So you all have your own reactions to this, I'm sure. Some of the irrationals come over and they bring you like clothes. You want them? Like, here's some fatigues and here are old fatigues. You see one of them like his hands shaking as he's getting near you. Like, holy shit!
They're gonna be too short, man.
I look at the clothes and like I mimic them. They just appear on me, but I do take the nano suit.
Ah, yes.
Can't do that.
It's damaged. It got really fucked up. I mean, it got perforated by gunfire, by 2 sets of gunfire, and then, you know, the mantis blades went through you. So it's like, oh shit. You need another one. That much is clear, but they have extras, obviously, so they can afford to give you a replacement. He's like the guy who, you know, was initially offering you your old fatigues bag. He's like, oh, Annalisa wants to see you.
Later. Let us talk to Candy first. Candy, are you coming?
Candy's calm is like sitting on the table as she's mixing stuff up.
Okay, so I just like lean out and like find until I'm like in your line of sight wherever you are. And I'm
She's in a room with the door closed and there's smells permeating from it.
Okay, well come knock on the door real loud. Just
Dun, dun, dun.
I'm working on something.
Candy, come say hi to Rift. Candy, come say hi to New Rift.
I'm working on 2 things now.
Okay, but you want to come say hi to him before they get to him and start talking to him about that weird cult shit that he's in. I feel like you should remind him of like the power of friendship or some bullshit. Come on.
I'm working on 2 things now because obviously you need some sort of psychomedicational therapy.
No, we made a new Rift. He's like a foot taller. He's super cool. He's got sunglasses that show up out of nowhere.
Then it's not the same Rift.
Well, no, it's new Rift, but he's kind of like old Rift. Actually, he's more like old Rift because he doesn't have all the memories of original Rift. So he's actually more like old Rift than he is like new Rift. So we should go.
She opens the door and there's like a cloud of medicinal type of like chemical smell.
Cyanide just grabs her arm. She's like, go, we're going.
No, I don't want to.
Why? You don't want to see your friend?
Listen, I hear dead people in my head all the time.
Yeah, but
I'm
he's not
worried
dead.
that you
He's
might have caught a
physically alive.
case of the dead voices.
No, I mean, you can get on the comm. Ask Vector, ask Terra, ask Rift, ask any of them. Just talk to them. Ask them. They'll back me up. Weren't you there when we voted to make a new Rift?
No!
Oh, okay, sorry. We voted to make a new Rift out of the old Rifts in Graham.
That's not possible.
Totally is. Remember how Duchess was all like saved to the cloud or whatever?
She died.
Uh-huh, but this time we just put him in a better body.
And we could have done that for Duchess?
Maybe, actually. That's an interesting moral point.
Yeah, it's almost like we could have saved more lives this way if this is even true, but it's not even in the realm of medical possibility.
Well, I didn't know it was true. Okay, so I video call Vector on my agent. Vector.
I really don't appreciate this practical joke.
Point the camera at Rift, and I show the screen to Candy.
I'm scritching the panther.
I really don't appreciate this practical joke.
Vector, get Rift to say something to Candy.
Rift, say something to Candy.
Doesn't react for a second. And then he looks up and says, "Oh, yes, that was my hacker code name. You can call me Axon. That's my actual name."
Okay,
I don't like it.
to say something to Candy.
I never liked Vector, but I'm still going to call you Vector. Candy, I remember you.
This is the worst practical joke you guys have played on.
It's not a practical joke. What's wrong with you? I came to tell you good news.
A lot of
friend
things
back.
are wrong with me. I'm hearing dead people's voices again.
We should probably go to a psychologist about that. But right now,
Working on psychology right now.
will you please come say hi to Axon? I know you missed him. You were sad when he died.
Yeah,
And now he's less dead.
this is the worst practical joke ever.
It's
I
not a
swear.
practical joke.
People
Come with me, you pink
come back
ninny.
to life after dying.
No, we made it. Well, I didn't make him. They auto-effect him. He's great. He's like all cyber now.
Candy, do I play jokes?
There.
You
Talk to
have a
Vector.
very nice sense of humor.
I don't think Vector has ever told a joke in their life.
No, not even as a child.
Tara, back me up here. Come on. Nomad, anybody?
This is not a joke, Candy. This happened. And you gotta face it one way or another. However you feel about it, this is what's going on.
Well, my medical degree means nothing now.
You
This
need
is
to come
a-
check him out. Make sure
this
he's
is-
okay. There's no side effects from this. Bring some lollipops. It'll be fun.
This is obviously a very outside the norm situation.
What if it were the norm in the future? What if you just never died? You could just upload yourself into the cloud and then become a robot person. That would be so cool.
It's almost like my medical degree means nothing now.
I could learn
60 years
so
of
many
college.
martial arts.
I mean, some people don't want to be robots. Like, I don't think you want to be a robot, Candy. It's okay. Your medical degree is still very valid. Will you please come with me now?
I respond to that, Vector, and I say, yes, I have. I can show you how. You shouldn't die, though, because it's not the same.
Fine, I'll go with
Vector
you.
is officially jealous, out of character.
I'll go with you, but you don't need to pull me.
Okay, I won't bully you. I need you to come with me.
Pull me.
Let's go. All right, so we're gonna walk back to the artifact.
Who used Tara's autovac?
All right, so most of you came out to see Rift. Candy just was sequestering herself in her room and wouldn't want to come out. What do you all do from here exactly?
I want to see Candy meet Axon. Now that I've brought her over to him.
Rift, is that really you?
What remains of me, yes. How are you?
Oh no! You hear that voice, Candy, and you're just like, you don't know if you're prepared to look upon this new Rift yet.
Rift doesn't talk like that. Rift?
Technically, it's Axon, but it's like Rift's baby. It's like Rift had a robot baby.
This isn't Rift.
I mean, it is. It's made of old Rift. It's just not made of new Rift. So it's not made of like donuts and coffee Rift. It's made of like killing AIs in a cul-de-sac Rift.
You still enjoy donuts? Excellent. Noted.
So imagine Candy Rift reincarnated, which is what my family believed. That's essentially what has happened. It is Rift, but it is also not Rift. But it is Rift, but not Rift. But
For those of
ultimately
you at
Rift.
home and you want to play a neat drinking game, every time someone says Rift, take a shot.
Rift.
But also,
Vorpal is not responsible for any.
Thank you, legal.
but also, the really important thing is that it's not a grift. This is Rift.
If you
AKA
take a
Axon.
car sideways, you might be doing a drift.
Yes, and that's essentially what Axon is. A drift.
Yeah, he's like a drift version of Rift. Like Rift went.
But it's not.
It's a graft of Rift, a drift, if you will, that is now Axon.
Nailed it.
We can settle this thing about Rift Axon very easily.
Like there's been a slight shift, but it's still Rift.
Axon,
Tara.
are you Rift?
This is me stopping, not Rift. Hold on. I've got a thing for that.
It's really a gift.
86.5%, yes.
Physical material or identity?
27.3% physical material, 86.5% identity. Standard data loss has been incurred.
86.5% of Rift is way better than 0% of Rift, what we had before.
I retain my information on all of you, which is what is important because you are my friends.
See,
No,
Candy, he's
incorrect
still your friend.
word. Family.
Colleagues. Family?
If the ship of thieves has each plank replaced one by one, when does it stop being a ship?
We're not doing a ship of Theseus metaphor right now. We're not doing that. Also, they haven't all been replaced. Only 75% of them.
But we don't know how many have been replaced in the year 20.
Well, no, I mean of Rift. We still got 25% of the original meat sack.
All of the undamaged parts.
Yeah, look at his leg. He's got a leg.
That's canon now, by the way. The year is 20 minutes.
100%.
So if you're
Do you,
if you're 70 something percent Rift, it's time to
No.
get back to work,
86.
right?
86.5% in the brain, but like 20-something% in the body.
So
you're
if you
that
put
high-
it all together, it's 100%.
It's
You're-
actually more than 100%.
Yeah, so
you're a
he's-
technician, Tara. Percentages are important. One should be accurate.
Understood. It's time to get back to work, right?
If by work you mean red eyes again. Vengeance, yes.
you told
That's
Tara
Rift.
that you're not
Axon.
gonna need the cyber deck anymore,
Correct.
right? But you do remember that there was something on it that you had left, or that was left behind before your consciousness got transferred. What was it?
You allowed me, out of character, to back up the car. What was his name? Jay.
Yay!
That is part of Jay's code on the cyber deck, Tara.
You see, Nomad's like, wait, what?
The deck was not large enough to handle all of the data, but enough is there that we could recompile the missing code with the help of insert name of AI here that lives in the autofac.
Yes, either, yeah, one of the three. Sure.
So that's what he meant by Tara gets Nomad's car.
No, I got Nomad's car.
Oh, that's what he meant by Dixie gets Nomad's car.
Dixie, who's Dixie?
That's sign it!
I mean, I'm
My brain is not working.
name of one of Cyanide's albums.
So now you know what's on that cyber deck, Tara.
Put it in the new car, new J.
Put it in the mech.
Put J in the mech, put J in the mech, put J in the mech.
I was wondering when somebody was going to say that. Okay.
It's why am I the worst influence?
And you see Nomad's like, no, hold on a minute now.
Can we duplicate J's code and have a J in the mech and a J in the car?
So a J and then
Not
a
easy to
J?
duplicate the code. That's one of the reasons why Dutch wasn't able to be saved, is because the moment it left that network, that was it. It can't be copied, because it was essentially the extension of a person's mind, or in this case a person's soul. But that when Rift jacked into that machine, it's a totally different process than what was used on Yamane, for instance, with Soul Killer. That's why it was so important. That was a legitimate copy of a person, but that's all gone now. So when he jacked into it, it was able to copy part of him, and it sent what it could. And then of course he backed up what he could of Jay on, but obviously the AI or an engram is too complex a fidelity to fit inside of in one of those things. That's why when you get hit with Soul Killer, it needs to be connected to a large network storage space, which is what you had in the ILS, these massive data centers. Can't do that on a deck. You can't.
Axon will also tell Candy, your medical license is not invalid. Because what happened to me was a fluke. I happened to be connected when the Circle of Transcendence ascended. My data was uploaded. Should not have worked, but it did. Even they don't know how it worked. Replication is unlikely.
You mean I can't get uploaded?
Kinda are.
That fucking sucks.
I mean, you can. You got Soul Killer in a suitcase.
Yeah.
You want to go out that way? It's your
Well,
prerogative.
no, I want to have a backup for if I do go out.
It's just.
And then I want a robot body.
Backup. You can be your own backup singer. Look at that.
I can't be the only one who feels something wrong with this, right?
I mean, I'm fine with it. I'd rather have a rift than not a rift, or an Axon not a rift. And I like Axon. He seems very nice.
Thank
You're
you.
very nice. Also, we should do vengeance together.
We should.
We should do vengeance.
We should bathe in the blood of our enemies together.
Cyanide has been inspired and clicks a little button on the side of her face, and her eyes also turn red.
She doesn't need to push a button. It just happens. Like she can just, think about it and it will happen.
I have cyanide, so yeah.
I'll be in my little commandeered room. If anyone needs me, don't need me.
It's an ILS, so it's essentially an arcology. You have like a residential area all within this massive building, and it goes below floors as well. It's not just one area; it goes below and down into like the main area where you were the last time you were here. So you can actually take your own, make your own confines, as it were. You can say, "Hey, this is my room or my home now," or whatever you want to do with it.
Yeah, Candy takes like a pink marker and just writes directly on the door, Candy's clinic, and then makes a little sign that says closed. I bet she does say on comms, okay, the only one who's allowed to visit me right now is Tara. I'm still trying to process all of this, so yeah.
The next comment I'm going to make, Tyler the player does not agree with. Just getting that out there. Rift, I need to make, Tara, I need to make use of your autofac for a few hours, please.
Part do you not agree with the
That he thinks it's his, and apparently I agree.
Damn right. Of course.
Excellent. The autofac is still running, and you see like a heavy-duty off-road rubber tire go by, and a chain and a muffler.
Just make sure you put your project up on the board and you get it approved by
Yeah, you see the autovac starts working again on something else. It's working on another piece of equipment. To make Rift took a good portion of the day. I'm gonna say several hours. But yeah, after that, you see like the Yamane and the other AIs start popping up or start leaving messages on everybody's agents like, hey, I hope that what you were able to recover of your friend was sufficient. It's like very few people are lucky enough to have what you're able to have now. If there is something else that we need to discuss in the pending days and weeks that follow for this siege that is coming our way, we'll be available to you at any time in the command center, which means like the big large room that you met Norman in originally, all the way down. They're basically giving you free reign to come and go as you please, essentially.
I will make my way to Candy's clinic.
I will stay with Axon for a minute and just like let him know that the briefcase is in there. So if anybody comes in who isn't one of like our main core, like he has license to kill.
Excellent.
Okay, cool.
Because like,
with that
you're gonna
being
be here
said,
anyway. You might as well guard the place, right?
Yeah. You see, Nomad's thinking about stuff, and he's like, he sees Tara start to get into the van.
No, I'm going to Candy's clinic.
In the city.
No.
No, the one she just
the
set
one
up.
that she just wrote up on on her
one that's
door.
gonna last longer than 24 hours.
Sorry. Well,
No.
You don't know that yet. No one said anything to you about that.
No one has.
Right.
This is Michelle saying, can I have a clinic that lasts longer than 24 hours?
I mean, you could. Okay, so you walk over to Candy's new clinic. It smells like medicine inside. She's been hard at work at something or another in here.
That's okay. I knock on the door. It's me.
Fake robot you, is it?
It's me.
Okay. She opens the door and there's the smell of chemicals.
Sorry, I've been working on something.
I'm sure it's gonna be good. Is this room safe to come in? Is there proper ventilation? Because it doesn't seem like it.
I opened a window.
Can I come in?
Yeah, sure. Sorry, I've been trying to isolate certain chemical compositions that are used normally in psychotherapy to enhance patients' receptiveness to positive emotion. Gotta use that medical degree somehow.
I get the feeling you're going to be using this medical degree for a lot of things.
Yeah, I don't really feel like that right now. Couldn't save Rift, and now it's fake Rift. It's a grift.
So, Candy.
Tara.
We've been working on this for months now, right? This whole thing that what started with Cyrus led us to.
Yeah.
Been together for a while. Every turn has been that junction between AI, cybernetics, humanity. You knew something like this was coming eventually, whether it was Axon or something else unrelated to us. For better or worse, that's the future somewhere down the line.
It wouldn't have happened.
He's not fake Rift. He's Axon.
He wouldn't be like this if I could have saved him. If he didn't save me.
But he did save you. That was his choice. And hey, Candy. I've been with Rift for a long time. Old Rift. Right? That Rift.
Yeah.
Didn't save a lot of people. We've watched a lot of people die before this group got put together. That's the world. And it sucks. But when you can save one person, you've done a good job for the day. He did a good job that day, so that you can do more good jobs later on. But you got to hold up your end of the bargain, right?
I'm just tired of people constantly sacrificing themselves for me. I'm not worth it. I'm just a doctor who can't even pass the final exam because she's just human. Who can't seem to... Yeah, I can defuse a bomb in the middle of the desert, but I can't have a conversation normally without being weird.
Who in this group is not weird? I mean, maybe Cyanide, her whole gimmick's being rad, so, you know.
Weird.
But other than that, you can't pass a final exam because you're only human. Okay, well, I'm a rich kid in more debt than anyone's going to ever get out of in life. We're all some weird version of ourselves. You're a doctor in a world full of sick people, full of hurt people. And whether you got a piece of paper that says it or not doesn't mean a damn thing. What's a license in a world where people come to an office with gunshot wounds that they can't go anywhere else to get help with, and you're there giving it to them.
Yeah, well, I'm just the easy target because my bank account, that was all because of what happened with Mithras. They got mad. The people in the helicopter got mad. So they transferred the money into my bank account to try to frame me from stealing from the Nomura family. Those people that died by getting their heads decapitated were probably from that robot. Everyone keeps dying because I'm an easy target.
But why are you a target at all, Candy?
Because I'm here. Because I'm with you guys. But, like...
Because you're doing things other people can't. Because you save lives. Because you put everyone else before you. For better again or for worse. I'm not telling you which way it goes, but... You can't keep thinking of yourself as a target, okay? Because you got people around you going to fight back for you.
Well,
keep being Candy. Okay? No matter what.
can I ask for a favor?
Sure.
In exchange for, like, whatever blue lollipops you want, can you make me shocky but by technology gloves?
I've been looking at that.
Mm-hmm.
I did a quick sketch when I had a chance. These look good, and I show her like some rough schematics.
Why is that one giving the bird?
Oh, that was an early one. Here, nope. Okay.
Okay, that one's the peace sign.
I thought that would be better, right? Because you're gonna give him a piece of your mind. Okay.
That's the
Okay.
first time I've laughed in a while.
Good. It's been a rough couple of days.
It has. You should get some rest too.
I've got lollipops. I'm fine.
You can only take one every week. Otherwise, your body will go into systematic shock due to the amount of neurons that have been going through your body.
Ooh. That was not on the warning label.
It was on the warning label.
That was not on a warning label I read.
This is why you need a med tech to administer these.
I guess you gotta stick with the group and keep being medtech.
Or I can watch you poison yourself with highly caffeinated neurons.
I'll get to work on the gloves. Take the time you need, okay?
Okay.
Do what you need to. No rush. We've got, what, at least a week, maybe 2? That's more time than I thought we'd have, considering.
Yeah, I'll
So-
probably work on some more medicines. I'm currently working on a form of antidepressant.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's good. People need that. Again, you're helping. You're doing what you can do.
Mm-hmm.
Do me a favor, though. Don't shut out Axum. I know it's different, but he's not fake. Okay?
Feels fake.
Give him a chance. Everyone deserves a chance. And if he's an asshole, fuck him.
That's not what a USB port is for.
Roll a perception check, both of you.
Perception check. That is what a USB port is.
It is, in fact, what a USB is for. 19?
Fucking A.
Perception.
What did you get, Candy?
I always can never find it when you need
Not
it.
human perception.
Oh, it's under awareness skills, and if I click on it, it should send a happy little button to chat. That.
Now you can use the rainbow dice. I always approve of the rainbow dice.
That's weird. Give me 1 second. I have to grab my drawer of D10s. Welcome to the drawer of D10s.
Hey-o.
Let's use the Eldritch Cthulhu one.
Nice.
That is a 9 plus candy. 9 plus 8.
17.
17.
You
Math.
both got it.
I'm having a hard time with reverse
So-
math.
You're talking and you look over and because you thought you heard or saw something and there's somebody like standing just outside the doorway listening. They're not being too subtle about it. They're trying to be quiet, but they're failing.
You can just come in now.
You see the door kind of swings open after like 30 seconds. So like, oh yeah, I didn't want to. And you see Nomad walks in. He's like, I didn't want to interrupt anything. Hey, I need to borrow you for something. He points over to Tara.
Be there in a second.
Yeah, sure. All right. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. He walks out.
I look back over to Candy. I'll get to work on those gloves. You keep working on what you are. And I know I didn't take the time to do this, but I hope that I can take out a little something that has no mechanical effect on the game.
Yeah, that's fine.
But I just want to put a little mechanical duck on her table.
Yeah, that's easy. Little tick. Yeah, little cowboy hat or something.
And I press like a button on the tail. And I would want to have clipped a segment from Kurz? Was that the name of the show? And it's Cyrus's voice saying like, "We got this," or something like that.
You got it, champ.
Yeah.
Mechanical Cyrus duck.
So I put on the table and I press the button. It just has the one line from Cyrus kind of that repeats. And just like, I'll get to work on the gloves. And Tara just leaves.
Before Tara leaves, Candy's gonna rush over and give him a hug.
Aw. You both get 15
jeez.
experience for that scene. That was very well done.
Tara awkwardly hugs back, but gives the hug.
Get some rest, okay? It's been a long day. You know what they say? The best way to recover your body is through a healthy mind.
And you're working on healthy mind pills, right?
Healthy mind lollipops. They're gonna be pink.
Super Prozac.
Thumbs up, and Tara leaves.
You get out of the room and you see Nomad's like motioning to you from the end of the hallway. He's like, hey, we need to X-nay anything about the Clinic A. Just mention that, you know.
What?
Candy's clinic, man. They fucking torched it. Don't say anything to her, okay?
Oh, son of a bitch.
Yeah, don't fucking say anything, all right? Just don't do it.
All right. Well,
I'll try to fix something up. I just don't know what's gonna happen the next couple weeks here. I mean, we got supposedly we got these assholes coming in and they're gonna try to fuck up her shit over here. So don't need any extra added problems here.
I look back at her room and I'm just like, we can't hide it from her. Because if she finds out a week later, that's going to be worse.
Yeah, but I mean, you know what I'm saying, right? Like, she's going to be a mess. It's already been really hard on everybody. I'd rather, we don't break the bad news to her just yet. We don't know what we're going to be facing here in a week. Also, I need your help. I want to get this car going, and I think we can maybe get some Choo-2, engines on it, like some AV engines. They got an AV thing on the top of this building here. We can probably use it and get it to fly, and we can land and use that. You think you can help me with that?
So
you can do that, right?
You want to go into the main central area. There's a big whiteboard. I want you to put the project up on the board, and we're going to work our way down.
I get priority here, don't I? What the fuck?
We got to do upgrades to the mech, right? We got to get your car rebuilt. We got
to talk about some things because I'm not. I mean, I haven't driven this thing yet, and it's ours, right? Like I can use it and
the mech.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's yours. What was it? Monday, Wednesday, and every other Saturday?
No, we're gonna put Jay in the mech.
We haven't decided on that. He's like, we gotta sit down and hash this out. All right.
I was gonna say we're We're getting Jay back. We're gonna put him in the mech.
All right. Fair
All right?
enough.
We'll get your
Eventually.
car flying. We'll get. What else am I supposed to fucking do? I gotta get some gloves built.
Make a flying car. Help him make a flying car.
Yeah, I gotta help him make a flying
That was a
car. I
flying
gotta
car.
get Jay inside the mech.
Right. So priorities.
Right.
He's like, we need to sit down and hash this all out. I still got a lot of questions on what it is that we're gonna do with this briefcase. Because I mean, I don't want the Yakuza coming in here and trying to kill everybody. So any options that we have, we should probably explore it, right?
I look
I
right.
mean,
at
I want to
Nom-
fucking kill these people, but
I look right at Nomad when he says that. Oh, I've got an idea. Fucking
Okay.
Wipe it.
okay. All right. So
Oh,
yeah, he's like, yeah,
that's-
let's talk about that.
Oh, that's not said with any joke.
Yeah, I know. He's not joking.
Okay. All right. Let's go.
All right, so he starts like wrangling everybody together, like one at a time. So you follow in his stead, and you kind of go down the hallway, and that starts knocking on doors and stuff. Hey, Cyanide, you in here? Knock, knock, knock. You know, just trying to like find everybody and like messaging on the agents, like, hey, let's have our own meeting if you don't mind. Let's have it like, I don't know, in front of the AIs. So at least you know we have somebody to talk to instead of creepy cult lady and you know.
Yes. AI meeting. Here for this. Let's go.
All right. So for those of you who want to attend, Nomad gathers you in the bowels of the ILS in front of the large screen. Where not too long ago, Dutch was hooked up to the same network, and you were all here for that that big download with big throwdown with Norman.
Does
And,
this
you see
happen
the three
before
eyes
or
pop up.
after I have a meeting with Annalise? Because that has to be resolved.
Oh yeah. I'm gonna say this happens afterwards. So Nomad starts gathering everybody up after you've had your initial meeting. We could say that was happening at the same time that Tara was having that heart-to-heart with Candy.
Do we want
and then,
to
he brings you
portray what
downstairs.
happened in that, or leave it a secret?
Good question.
You have like y'all
I'll
can
play
do
it
it
out
on
if you
your
want.
own.
Sure.
Or that. I will also watch.
Or
So
whatever you want to do.
He has to do new cult initiation because his
Oh,
body.
it's not going to be what you think. So, yeah, we'll go ahead and play it out. So,
right.
Axon would walk in, just look at the other people that are in the room that aren't her,
Mm-hmm.
and they know they need to leave.
Yeah. If they look at you and they look to her, and she just makes the motion, and they start filing out.
Close the
Shut the
door,
door.
and tint the windows black. But I'm sure that soundproofs it too.
Probably.
Can I
The-
just say Axon Ex Machina? Is that how I use that term? That's proper, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Drops the mechanical jerky stride, and the face softens up, and he plops down in the chair and looks at her and says, "Sometimes it's better for people to adjust if you create a separation by making them think you're still adjusting to the world. But I know who I am. And you need to know who I am, because my time with the Enlightened has changed me. My data has been there for the entire 3 months that I've been gone. I've been interacting with them as an AI entity, as a consciousness floating in the machine. I've stripped away the parts of my data that I thought were unnecessary. Then I stand up and walk over to her and put a hand on the side of her face and say, I no longer belong to you or your group. I belong to no one except myself. But I will do what needs done with you because," and I lean in and give her a passionate kiss, "I love you."
Oh man. Oh man. Oh,
And then I just
no.
leave.
It's just like tears. Speechless.
Stop at the door and look over my shoulder and say, "Not for the irrationals, for you." Then I leave.
Wow. Okay. Nicely done. Yeah, so you keep it short and sweet with Annalisa, leave her speechless, and then Nomad comes around and is like, hey, we're having a meeting, come on down.
I will follow Nomad.
You go down to the main area where the three AIs line up on the big monitor, Yamana's like, we're having a meeting again, are we? But I don't see the others that were here before. This is done on purpose. And you see Nomad's like, yeah, you got that right. Fucking lady's a psycho, no offense. He says, and looks to you, Axon.
I take no offense at anything.
What's your
Good,
humanity, Axon?
Out of character?
Yes, out of character. What's your humanity now?
18. What remains of it belongs only to Annalise and the party.
Love it, love it.
You see, Nomad's like, all right, kids, we gotta have a talk. Danger might be coming our way pretty soon, and we need to start making preparations. We need to know what we're getting into. This is the last stop on the choo-choo train, okay? If you want to get off here, that's fine. I really like working with all of you. I think you're all great, but we're going to the point of no return, all right? If you stay, bad things can happen. That's why we're having this meeting right now, is because I don't know how much I can trust some of these people that are here, or at least to do what it is that we need to do. I trust you, Axon, but how much control, how much allegiance do you still have with these people?
Are you asking how much allegiance I have to their cause?
Correct.
None.
Good.
I have no allegiance to any cause except revenge.
Ooh. See, I told you he was better. Before
like,
he was in a cult, now he's not in a cult. This is great.
Things are gonna get bloody pretty damn fast. We gotta make some preparations. And are Yamane, Alpha, Omega, are you all gonna be able to help us? And he's like, of course. He's like, you freed us from our prison. How can we say no? And it's like, these people have wronged you, and they wish they're trying to bring about your deaths. We cannot allow this to happen in good conscience. You saved our lives. We owe you ours. I was like, thanks. I'm glad to hear that. So I got a couple ideas about how we can spruce up the place, get it ready for anything that might be happening soon. But there's a burning question that I've been wanting to ask everybody here.
I feel like Candy has a cream for that.
He pulls out the briefcase and he puts it on the floor and he's like, what's in this box?
How did you get that out of the thing? I locked it away.
I have my ways, he says.
God
and you see
damn it.
Yamane is like, I'm not understanding what you're saying, Nomad. I think you do understand what is in that suitcase. The cyber deck that belonged to Dutch is inside that suitcase, and the reason why the Nomura family wants it is because it contains the Soul Killer program. And you see, he's like, yeah, but what is in that cyber deck? And he points over to Terra. It's like, Terra found a bunch of info on Rift's cyber deck. What's in her cyber deck? And she was a legendary netrunner, right? Like, what is she? What's inside the cyber deck that we might be able to utilize? Do you know of anything in there, or is there anything that we can use in it? And he's like, I am not privy to that information, I'm afraid.
So let's open it up and find out.
And he's like, yeah, let's do that, right? And you see, Yaman is like, very well. I should probably warn you, however, if you're going to be tampering around with a legendary netrunner, as you put it, cyber deck, I would be very careful to do so. And you see, Nomad's like, how hard can it be? It's from 2020. We got better tech now. Like, how hard could it be to crack any codes and stuff like that? And he's like, I think you misunderstand who you're dealing with. The Duchess was a professional in the field. I have no doubt in my mind that the cyber deck has protocols that are in place in case it was captured by an enemy or a rival netrunner. I would be very careful proceeding forward, Nomad.
So how do we open the case? Because we haven't even done that yet. Right now, it's got a briefcase.
Yeah.
People are like, "Oh, it's got a cyber deck in it," but like, we don't actually know that.
He's like, yeah, and that's why I wanted to keep this meeting a little secret. I don't want them finding out that we got this and that we have all this information on it. Out of character, they probably already know that. They don't really give a fuck. But you don't know that. You see,
Wait.
Nomad is like,
hold on.
Hmm?
This was Duchess's case, right?
The case belonged to the Telex Corporation, the people who captured her and kept her here as a guinea pig.
Got it. So
The
case is not
cyber deck
hers,
that's
the deck
inside
is.
belonged to Duchess. Correct.
Got it. Okay. All right.
And he's like, now about getting, and that's what I need you for. He says, pointing to you, Tara. And it's like, if anybody can crack this thing, jailbreak it, however you want to put it, it's got to be you, right? Like, we got to get in there to find out what's inside, and if there's anything that we can use to our advantage.
I took a run at opening this thing before, didn't I?
Yes, when you initially found it, because
Yeah.
you tried to use the biometrics of the person who was holding it, and it
Right.
failed. Cyanide has since used it and also failed to get it open, which means it's not
Right.
going to open for just anybody. It has to be somebody very specific, or you jailbreak it, which is what he's basically alluding to. He's like, I don't
Okay.
think there's a way for us to get into it legitimately. I need your help to get into this thing and crack
Sure.
it.
Yeah, no, I
If there's any
mean,
chance that we can use it.
I can give
So-
it a go. I gave it a look over. How the hell to get into that thing is going to be tough. I'm thinking
Yeah.
I just thinking we just blow the damn case up. Everyone with me?
Well, you can try a contained demolition, but you see, Yamane is like, that would be sufficient perhaps to damage the suitcase, but you could damage the contents if you do that.
How high is? Well, Candy might probably have some high chemistry, so maybe we can use an acid or a base to melt the locks away.
There would be a
You
high
see,
risk of damaging the internal contents, right?
Yamane's
some
mind
of
is
the
working,
corrosion.
he's processing information. He's just like, such devices, such as is known on our network, contain a battery, a kinetic battery, meaning the more that this suitcase is in motion, the more energy it's able to generate in order to facilitate the biometric locks that keep its secrets. It's like, so if there's a way to get access potentially to its battery, then perhaps you might be able to power it down sufficiently and get it to and access the contents aboard it,
We got to keep it still for a long time.
which is
Can I-
unfortunate for you because it's been moving quite a bit for the last few weeks, or the last few days at least.
Can I roll something to try to figure out if this is possible or if there's a way to slow down the kinetic battery?
Yes, you can. If you have basic tech, or sorry,
do.
yeah, basic
I have-
tech, you can roll basic tech, and if you roll higher than a
So-
13,
22!
Is Candy out of her dam?
wow,
Wait, Kenny came to the meeting too, right? Because we all came to the meeting.
Yeah,
yeah,
Yeah.
I'm assuming so.
22.
Yeah, that's more than enough than you need. Yeah, you've seen this kind of tech before. It's actually used a lot of times in the medical field, actually.
For organ transplants.
Precisely. So yeah, you want to keep the contents hidden inside, locked up, and you want it to, if in the case of like a heart or something like that, to keep it steady, to keep if it's needing to be cooled or whatever, frigid temperatures, that battery can facilitate that. So yeah, you're actually already familiar with it, and you're like, oh, it's probably somewhere along one of the seams here. Like there's probably like a little pop-out thing that, if you gain access to it, you might be able to find the wiring for the battery, and from there you can kind of go from there.
Yeah,
you
it looks
need
like we
special
want a
tools.
flat edge screwdriver of approximately, I would say...
Multi-tool. Use a multi-tool.
Yeah, we would need some sort of multi-tool along this seam right here to be able to pop it out. These things are often used a lot in organ transplants, as well as high security medicinal transport as well.
Mhm.
So like if you're like needing to transport a human heart or like a set of lungs, a liver, kidney, you
Yep.
put it in one of these.
You see Candy like look at it and it's like, yeah, it's probably right along here, and she just like expertly calls out all the components that might be a part of it and how it can function. So Tara, you have a really good idea of how to get in there and potentially dismantle this thing.
Okay.
How do you approach this?
My hands are better at, humans than this. So.
Okay. Seems like I want to get to the battery first.
Potentially.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm going to start. I'm
Bypass.
going to try working the seam and
Okay.
see if I can't get access to the battery somehow.
Hey, Tara.
Yeah.
Remember the bomb in the desert? Now you know how I felt.
No pressure. Roll me a perception check, please.
Me or everyone?
Tara, because he's going to be doing the surgery here, so to speak.
16.
Do you want to spend any luck?
Do it.
Yes.
How much?
You tell me.
I'm not telling you. That's what I'm asking.
3 to make that a 19.
Okay. Excellent. All right. You notice the scene that she's talking about, and you're like, oh shit, I almost didn't see that. And like you take one of your flathead and you like start prying it open. You see this little flap like flips open, and inside there seems to be like a little niche, like a tiny little thing that you could go into and like potentially start messing around. This is where the battery and the wiring for it is located.
Okay.
Now give me. You have pick lock.
I mean, kind of.
Axon
Okay,
walks
what are you
over
gonna
to you
use?
and says, I can assist.
Nice. All right, roll it.
That's the only tech skill Axon has points in.
Excellent. If you want to pick this lock for me, go ahead.
Okay. 20.
Perfect. There is a small, rather sophisticated lock inside. You use the multi-tool. You could describe it however you like.
I pick up the case, I look at it. My hand spins around, turns into tools, which then insert themselves.
Yeah, you slide it into the slot, and you hear like a his hand comes out, reforms, and you see like stuff just, he shakes it a little bit, and stuff just starts falling out, like there's a nut and a little lock thing, like contraption falls out. You see the internal battery starts sliding out slowly. Let's see. Cool. All right. So you managed to get the battery out. Give me basic tech or electronic security, actually, Tara, if you want to roll that. You have to be very careful with this battery.
Okay.
That much you know.
That's a 10 and a 7. 17 plus 14.
Oh, shit. Okay. That's good. You want to spend any luck?
7, 8, 9, 10, 11. On a 31? No, I'm good.
Okay. Just wanted to check. You're like,
I hope
this
a
is tricky. So
31
you,
is
you actually
good.
put on you actually put on a set of gloves, and you're like rubber gloves, tight, form fitting, and like you kind of like start messing with it, and at first you grab it and you go, oh shit, okay, like you feel the jolt, and so you have to approach it with some tools, and then eventually you just kind of like dismantle it in such a way that it disconnects. There's no voltage flowing through it anymore.
Huh.
Effectively disarmed. That would have caused some damage had you not rolled as well as you did.
Yeah.
Okay. So now you have this portion open. Like you're able to actually use that portion where the battery is located to actually access the inside of the suitcase and pop it open. There's like a little release hatch in there.
Okay. So now that the battery's dead, I think I can just hit that hatch and we're good to go?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'll
Open
reach
it up.
around in there and from the inside, hit the hatch.
You hit the hatch. Opens up like a flower. And inside, inlaid inside of like thick foam, like sound resistant foam, is like this the cyber deck. It looks unremarkable, but except for like the stickers that are on it, like there's a British Union Jack and like cartoon characters and shit like that. punk rock bands, like like stuck on it.
I was her
and-
clone.
For real. And you pick it up, or you reach in and grab the cyber deck, or what do you do with it at this point? You hook it up to something, or what do you how do you plan to approach the internal programming of it? Because it's not on, obviously.
Right. So I just look at the deck and I'm just like, oh shit.
You see, mine is like, this is old tech, but we have some here that can assist. And he points over to the cyber terminals, the old school cyber terminals, where like you sit in, and you jack in like in the Matrix. There's a spot for a cyber deck, just like there was for Dutch when she was here in person.
Right.
Like you can slot it in and then like jack into it from the terminal.
I look at everybody. It's like, guess I'm going in.
This
Please
is your
be
job
careful.
now. I have faith in you.
Roll interface.
Everyone's first big net run is into Duchess's personal deck, right? This is a great first job.
My first net
What's
run
your-
was to steal coins from arcade machines.
What's your cyber tech skill total, Tara?
My cyber tech total is 14.
That's enough. This is a sealed combat. Aztec 600 assault, 8200 EB for 82. It goes for
It's a lot of numbers.
whatever.
Right.
Yeah, it's an Aztec 600 assault. It's basically a combat cyber deck. This thing can stop a bullet, several
Okay.
in fact. And you're like, this is a vintage shit here. You go to jack in.
So this
I need you-
before I do. I'm sure nothing's gonna go wrong jacking into a fucking bulletproof vest with a hard drive. And I flip the switch and jack in.
All right, you start seeing information. As soon as you jack into it, you're like, oh, you're seeing it over. I'm guessing you're using the visor. So I don't think you have cyber eyes, correct?
I think I have one cyber eye question mark.
My deck had
I have a
virtuosity
left- I have-
goggles, so he could just use those.
I can use the goggles. I also do have a left cyber eye.
Oh, cool. So you can either see it right through there, or you could put on the goggles and see it like in sort of semi full VR style.
Goggles is fine.
Cool. Roll interface.
Oh boy.
While he's in there, my vocalizer is playing random lines from Johnny Mnemonic.
Great. And let me know if you're spending any luck.
Can I believe in Tara?
You can.
Uh,
Perfectly fine to believe
That's
in
a
Tara.
13 total on interface.
Just beat it by one. Not a joking.
Oh, my sweet baby
The
Jesus.
belief!
That's some high
you're
DVs.
entering. So you
Yeah,
put on the
it is.
visor, and there's code and stuff like that, and there's like a little password and stuff, and you're like, get the fuck out of the way, whatever. And then you realize, like, as you're about to pull aside the prompt that comes up, there's a 3-headed dog about the size of you,
Oh,
waiting on the
gosh.
other side, just waiting to breathe fire on you with its 3 heads and burn every synapse in your brain. And you're like, let me go and crack that code. And you're like, you start running the protocol programs and stuff like that, and you actually manage to crack the password. So as soon as it clears, the Cerberus runs up and looks and goes, and just kind of goes off to the
Aw.
side, lets you right into the rest of the program, and you're like, oh shit, and like reams of information just rise up out of the ground around you. You're seeing programs here, like Terminator, Lunch Money, and of course Soul Killer. But there's more information here. There's certain names and places that appear in front of you as you're just surveying it in VR. The word Moss appears
Moss.
as a not this is definitely a name that you've heard before. Many of you have heard this name before. Moss Biolabs appears as part of the information that you're looking at. And then as you're just scanning it as fast as you can when you're in this type of environment, you see also information about something called Les Enfants de Carbone, the Carbon Children. And that's where we'll stop for this week. Ooh. That's all the time we have for this session. I hope everybody here and those watching enjoyed the show.
Am I
we'll
a carbon
continue-
children? I want to be a carbon children. I think I'm a carbon children.
A child of
You're-
carbon.
Yeah.
The children of the carb. Did I just hear Tyler say the children of the carb?
A child of
The
carb,
carb.
yes.
Okay. Then
But
my
yeah.
brain just twisted it to what I wanted it to.
We are the children of the carb.
That's correct. Cyanide's clones require so much bread.
Yes.
We're all
The
blonde and
And pasta.
carbohydrates.
We will continue our adventure into the dark future next Monday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you enjoyed tonight's program, feel free to check out our awesome adventures and terrifying tales. In the way of awesome adventures, this Wednesday we have our own Space Explorer pajamas running the super awesome Tales from the Loop Horn in the Woods. Also, be sure to check out Trinity Continuum Adventure, the purest evil, on the Onyx Path channel on Tuesdays, and Fridays Trinity Continuum Aeon, Quantum Entanglement, part of Jumpstart April. For Terrifying Tales, we have Kimchi's Grimdark Chronicles run by Dwayne, currently playing Pathfinder 2E Strange Aeons on Thursdays. Next, we have the all-new mage, The Ascension Technocracy Reloaded from Invictus with Love on Saturday. And finally, on Sundays, Tyler's running Tales of Terror and Damnation with the hot new hybrid mage and cult game, White Walls. Now, for those of you who stayed after the credits rolled, it's time to vote for favorites. All players in this game can select another player as their favorite for that session for any reason. The recipient will get a reward in the form of 20 improvement points, or IP. For viewers, voting is open as well. You too can choose a new favorite for each week from all of our shows, but you have to be quick. Voting for that session ends just after our closing reel finishes, so be sure to cast your votes in the Twitch chat as soon as you can. Beginning with Michelle, who, as always, played Candy so excellently. Who's your favorite and why?
I have to give it to my emotional support, Tara. For really just going back and forth with me on that scene and being such a great role-playing partner for that. Thank you.
Thank you.
And Forever, who is always great as Vector.
I'm gonna I'm gonna also have to give it to no, maybe
So many good choices.
there really were. You know what? I'm gonna damn it.
If you're conflicted, I will allow a split.
Yeah, you
for
can split it,
10
remember?
each if you like. Yeah.
Does that mean
Yes.
I can split mine between? Does
I'm-
that mean I can split mine between Tara and Cerberus?
I just
Give
think
the
Cerberus
puffer
needs
the
to improve.
experience- Give the Panther the experience points.
Oh yes, and then it can get to 65 miles per hour, and Cyanide can ride it into battle.
Oh my
I'm gonna
gosh.
ride it into battle.
Regardless, yes.
We have a big
yeah,
battle. I'm gonna ride that panther. I'm not even joking. It's
I'm
gonna
for it.
happen.
Battle Panther. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and have to split it between Tara and Candy for that beautiful, sweet scene. That wasn't like I enjoyed it because it wasn't like really dramatic, but it was kind. It was
It was
compassionate.
real.
And I
Yeah.
loved that.
And Steve, who played Tara this evening, who's your favorite and why?
Oh wow. I mean, I'd have to shout out Cyanide's super rant against the brick wall that was the irrational leader. But I'm gonna give my vote right back to Candy for that scene. So thank you for being roleplay partner for that.
And Dixie, who played Cyanide, of course.
I gotta give mine to Axon for showing up and being a brand new person, and also for randomly making out with a lady. Like he has like 6 allegiances now, and they're to us and her apparently. No, it's interesting. I like it. Oh, thank you, Zach. Zach in chat gave me a vote.
Oh.
Yay! Thank you, Zach. You're awesome.
No, he rules.
And Tyler, who of course played Rift. I mean, Axon. Excuse me.
Both technically.
Mine is going to Cyanide for being excited for a cyborg.
True Borg, yeah. Exactly.
Really,
Excellent.
the main emotional drive I've given Cyanide is passionate. So like, she's passionate about things that are cool, and she's passionate about things that she thinks are shitty, and she's just she's just a walking ball of emotions that spill out.
Excellent. Well, I've been Eric at my own recluse on Twitter. You can find me here again on Sunday for Tyler's Mage and Cult game, White Walls. Big thanks as always to our patrons and for supporting what we do. If you want to be awesome and do the same, check out our Patreon page at patreon.com/VorpalTales and keep up to date on what we're doing throughout the month by checking the updated calendar. Just remember, I just got fired from my job at the keyboard factory. They told me I wasn't putting in enough shifts.
Yep.
Good night, everybody.